days of long ago, created by the cosmic legends of the universe. There stands one man, one great man, a man dedicated to preserving all that is good in pop culture. Loved by few, hated by many. Alone in his fortress of awesomeness, he battles fearlessly against the wolves, the evil, the unjust. To right that which is wrong, to stand for justice, to serve all mankind. He is the one, the only, the comic Relief Crusader.
Hey guys, it's Friday. Thank the Lord Jesus that it's Friday. Because if I were to try to carry on like crazy, oh my God, I think I shoot myself in the face. Either literally or figuratively. But that's okay because it's Friday and you guys are all here and that's all that matters. And I just want to say thank you, everybody, for joining in yesterday with Flip City Magazine. It was really, really great to have them on. And you guys also made the chat happen. And, you know, they were listening to you guys. And it was a fun interview. So just to let you guys know, that link is still in the description. If you want to subscribe, then there is also that little coupon for all of you to enjoy and get 10% off of a subscription. Click on that link. It would really help me and them out as well. So I want to thank everybody that's here so far. First in the chat, we got Sci-Fi Mombi. Hail to you, Sci-Fi Mombi. How's it going? And our beloved Carla Burton. Hello, all the way in Kiwi land. How's it going? And we got Stark of Iron. Ahoy, ahoy, hoy to you, sir. And we got James Caserta. Fight for just us. I will and I try, James. So thank you for being here. And as we do each and every show, let us welcome all the pundits that are here today.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
And that was the wrong one, but that doesn't matter because, yes, I am apparently. So,
if you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits?
Admiral Teague, how's it going, dude?
Hey, what's going on, buddy? Fun time yesterday, reprising my role as enfeebled Picard.
Yes. I thought you would just be perfect for that role. So thanks for playing along. Greatly
I got just enough notice to drain my voice of dignity and anything that sounded brave. I hope that I transmitted the cowardly robotic fear that
you did.
That's Picard. Yeah, and I hope I didn't sound like I'd be good at anything because that would.
And we lost him, but hopefully he'll be back. And we got Pop Culture Republic. How's it going, dude?
Hey, it's going well. The last Monday of the week.
The last Monday of the week. It is so good. It's so relaxing to finally finish off another week. God, thank you, Jesus. And Tom, how's it going, bud?
Good. I would have stuck with that first entrance and not had the second one. We could all yell at you. We're not assholes. I know.
I feel like one almost.
That was awesome last night. I liked Teague's reading of Jean-Luc Retard. That was amazing.
I know. It was pretty funny, wasn't it? And back again after a long time, Tony Stark. How's it going, bud?
Hello.
How's it going?
Bar crawl off right. I'm never off work on Fridays, but today I am.
Today
I will stop here at the Fortress of Awesomeness and begin my little soiree into the life of YouTube punditry for the next 12 hours or so.
Excellent. And of course,
Hey,
back again, my
you didn't tell me
Welcome back.
Stalker's going to be here. It's part of my ground rules that I. No, I'm just kidding. Good to see you. You want to be on later? You got some time?
If you go to my Twitter, you're scheduled. You're the next car I'm hitting up.
Cool. All right. Good. Thanks for letting me know. By the way,
There we go.
people out there are saying that I'm not a mean boss. Correct the record on that one. How long did I yell at you for before I hired you? Did I pre-yell at you for how long? About 90 minutes?
Hey, 90 minutes. Most people get, they get the boots medium style for about 3 hours. So I consider myself lucky.
Yeah. No, before Tony came on, I did tell him those things he couldn't do. So anyone saying that? Did Tony confirm that?
Can't confirm.
Yeah. Yes.
All right,
There
just
you
a
go.
little
Thank you.
a quick segment here first before talking about last night's show. I did send their email. I immediately got the free comic, so that was awesome on Flip City Mag. They
Oh,
were
cool.
amazing, and they emailed me after. Make sure you got it. Yes, I did. Sweet.
Awesome.
They are amazing over there, and I
cool.
might actually have to subscribe. I was like, I like the stuff. It's really amazing, and technically
Oh,
too,
good.
because there's a free comic on their website as well. So
Yep.
it was like,
Yep.
Tom,
oh,
by the way, thank you for the compliment. Yeah.
no, dude, it was
hopefully
awesome.
When
I loved it.
I was like, when frame 3 came up and the word bigger was in there, I was like, oh boy,
Oh, I seen it. I was like, is he gonna? No. Okay,
Like-
well, you worked around it. Good man.
stunning.
Sir.
Well, as we do at every end of the week and on every live show, we do some stupid news. Who's ready for some stupid news?
I'll wait.
I suppose if we
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me hit my head against the wall for a minute.
I need
Okay.
brain cells dead. Send it.
There
to
we
me.
go.
Exactly.
Mr. Burns,
Is the post on,
That would
the
be
post's
on
back on the menu, boys?
Is that Tony?
who's that lonesome oaf in today's article? Well, Mr. Burns, that would have to be Mr. Homer Simpson.
Simpson.
He's
eh?
one of your George Jams from He's one of your George Jams from Operation Bootstrap, sir.
There
By
we
the
go.
way,
Bring,
okay,
bring him to my office.
Okay.
Thank you, President Ford.
And this in stupid news, nearly 80 bird species named
Oh, I
are
it.
about to be
Oh
changed.
man.
Yes.
Yes.
The Blue Jays are an insult to the Andorians. As a Star Trek leader here, I want to say that as a leader of a Star Trek community. New
So,
Trek
yeah.
is very offended by the Blue Jays, the Blackbird, the Magpie, and of course the Shrew.
There we go.
Oh wait, that's
not
not a bird.
Not
Sorry.
only a few years ago was it racist to be bird watching, but now we're gonna have to change like about 80 species of birds because their names are racist. So
What
here we
about
go.
extinct birds? What about extinct birds with racist names like the dodo
Oh well, yeah,
or
Probably
pejorative names,
Probably
right?
safe
Pejorative
because they're
names.
extinct.
yes.
What about
That
the
would be-
what about the
that would
south?
be
What about the
ableist.
north?
So
What about the Northwest Irish pikey bird? Is that going to be changed as well?
yeah, probably. So apparently, Say's Phoebe is named after Thomas Say, an American naturalist, an American Ornithological Society has announced that beginning next year, birds' names after people will be renamed in an effort to be less exclusionary.
Beyond Frank Eagle.
When
in
will this
celebration of her great-
nonsense end?
It's so.
Never!
Oh my God! Really?
This is crazy.
This
When
is
will this
stupid.
end? With
This is the
societal
reason why
collapse?
we eat you people.
Exactly.
I have a feeling that there's like one or two of these in there where we'll be like, whoa, but then like 99% of them will be like, why are you throwing this in with those two birds? It's like the N-word bird. Okay, yeah, that one was bad, but we're ready. The Adolf Hitler sparrow, bad name. We're gonna get rid of it. But like some of these other things are gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
When did Jed in the backwoods get smarter than most society?
Oh,
I'm
jeez.
gonna say
But
probably
Ted
about
Seriously.
Kaczynski got arrested.
Yeah, yeah. God. But now
When they
what?
picked up the Unabomber.
Every book now has to be rewritten. It can't no bird book can be published now, probably more than likely until after the year, until they get all new names or something like that. Like, how are they going to figure that out? Do you
Wait,
realize
hold on.
how much
Do I have-
money publishers are going to be wasted?
I gotta
on-
call. Wait, I have to. Does that mean that I have to call my friend Josh Marrowman and be like, bro, when you wrote that book, Bird Box, that broke you big? You really fucked up, Josh. You got to change the name of the book. He's like, why? Well, it's like, well, you got a pejorative for women in some countries with a word for, cervix in another country mixed together. And he's like, but my main character's a female. That doesn't matter, exactly. Josh. You really fucked up, buddy.
It's just going to have to be called Box. So, Carla Burton, my
bird power. Bird power.
There you go.
Angry Birds.
See?
That's right.
There's an
Angry Bird power.
There's angry.
Josh, I'm sorry, buddy.
This bird used to be called this, but now it's called this. So
as we have more cultural cleansing that continues down an insane path where you can't name things what they used to be.
I know, right? But
communism is bad and freedom of speech is good. Here's a newsflash for you.
But I mean, you know what? It was exclusionary enough because it was the names that made them kind of exclusionary.
That's what I don't get.
You know,
because
it was remembered for certain people that contributed to the identification of certain different bird species. So,
well, the North American truck stop warbird needs a new name, but
Tim and I just realized the Olsen Standard Books of British Birds is no longer.
Exactly.
I don't know. Monty Python fans know that one.
And
I changed my name to Admiral Colonizer.
Hail to Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
Good to see
you. And also hail to Dormammu. Birds affected by this: the American woodpecker, the great tit, the rough-faced shag.
I think the great tit's a real bird.
I like the rough-faced shag. Just
I know.
Amazing. Yes. The plumage is lovely.
Shagadelic, baby. Yeah. Oh my God.
I know that you just didn't bring Austin Powers into this mix.
Exactly.
How dare you?
Oh my God. Carla Burton. Yeah, Dr. Seuss was decades ahead of its time with Are You My Mother? To a cow, a cat, a crane, etc.
A crane or a rat.
Exactly. Oh my God. Oh, God.
That is before we rewrite all of Dr. Seuss's books to make them more inclusionary or whatever the phrase is. It's like,
better not touch my Dr. Seuss.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Exactly.
I was an assistant teacher for one. I used to love reading Dr. Seuss to the kids, and they would love it. Now they ban those books. It's like,
I know. All
I
do
not like you, Tom, the teacher.
I do not like this.
I have to tell everyone something. Tony is Iron Man, but son of Sam, I am.
There you go.
But alas, from you, no green eggs and ham.
And ham, that's right.
I do not like them, son of Sam. I do not like them with a yam. I do not like them with son of Sam. I do not like them with Ted Bundy. They do not agree with me.
I don't like them while listening to Wham. I don't like them when I don't like them in a frying pan.
Oh no!
I won't eat them just in Casey. I'll only eat them with John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah. So, who else? Like pretty much everybody here on this panel. And out in the chat, whether you're on YouTube or on Rumble or anything like that, and hail to all the Rumble viewers that are watching now. Who here is in constant fear of global warming each and every day?
Ooh, I know that right now in November I have the air conditioner on, and it's November 10th in this great state of New York. That don't make much sense.
Okay, well. Pray tell, how does this make any sense here? From MIT, that's right, MIT, we're supposed to be the leading minds in today's society. MIT says, is Islamophobia accelerating global warming?
Oh my
Tony,
God.
your diploma is worth shit now, man. They just leveled that down. We can wipe your ass with that MIT diploma now.
The blue-footed booby, the Himalayan snowcock.
I want a certification on every bridge in America not built by MIT grads. This bridge certified resin-free by Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
Thank you, Carol. I appreciate it.
This can't be a real headline.
This
can't be real. Come on.
from MIT.
MIT was a school that
This has
people
got to
would
be
die
the
to go
student
to.
newspaper.
I'm with
This issue
PCR
of
on
the
this.
student
This is
newspaper
dope.
went out
There's
unchecked.
no way that people are this stupid.
Yeah.
This is what happens when the faculty advisor at a talented and gifted college leaves the kids alone, assuming they'll do the right thing.
And yet, this news article is out there. So yes, Tony, there are so many people. that are
Yes,
going
Tony,
along
there is
with
an
this.
Islamophobic clause.
Oh my God! Like,
I definitely don't want to live on this planet anymore.
no, like,
Yeah. This is like stop
I'm
the
gonna ask you a
planet I
bunch
want to
of
get off.
questions.
First of all, there's no such thing as
That's the Hamas.
Islamophobia. I just don't like the fact that, there are people, according to certain belief systems, that possibly want to delete me. So, but how does that accelerate
I don't know.
this subject of global warming out there? It does not make sense. So
I'm not trying to play
Dormammu-
devil's advocate
okay,
here. I'm going to
hold-
try to.
hold
I'm
on here,
actually,
hold on.
I'm
Let's use
actually
the scientific
expending
fact.
brain power trying to figure it out.
Hold on. Dormammu says your halal farts are warming the temperature. Yeah, warming the atmosphere.
No.
That was
wait,
one of the
wait.
things I was thinking. Is it's not a vegetarian religion, so what the hell's up with that part?
Yeah, exactly. They want you
No.
to feel that. Yeah, exactly.
Women in Islam are forced to wear hijabs, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, well, maybe they're less breathing, so the people that aren't wearing them, they're breathing more, which is causing global warming, and it ties
right.
in, and that's all I can think of.
You know what?
I don't know
Amount
otherwise.
That's what it
I've
is.
The
solved that.
automobiles on
I'm
this
trying
to-
planet do not do the dent into the CO2 of the atmosphere that these quote experts end quote explain.
Yes.
you cannot
I've solved
tell
the
me that
problem.
People that can't exhale the amount of CO2 through a fucking robe or facial garment is going to be any difference, or at the very least equitable.
Hey, I'm just trying to reach, because this whole thing is reaching. It's like, just what the hell?
The solution to the problem is my new product. For women of a certain adherency, I now sell a special Admiral Teague saving Star Trek burqa. I call it the Brooke burqa. It's got Brooke Burke in a bikini on the front of it, covering most of your body. So no matter how much of your face you cover up, no one's going to take their eyes off of, they say 2007 era Brooke Burke for the Brooke burqa, because, I think it's a good product that people want. I'll also say, let's remember this. Islam doesn't have any central control. There are mosques where no one wears any face coverings. You know what I mean? To be fair. And there's also probably most people of this religion are perfectly nice. It's just that
some of
people
them are. Yeah,
from this religion give everyone a bad name, just like with any group of people. That's true with Star Trek critics. It's true with YouTubers.
But
Exactly.
it's just, let's tie the word phobia in the end of anything, and then we can make everybody else feel bad for no particular
I
reason.
am now
yeah.
moving global warming theory, hack theories. That is now a legitimate fear to be recognized by all cabinets of medicine going forward. I'm scared of this article.
Oh,
It's going to
God.
touch me later in a bad
In
way.
the words of Johnny Cash, I did the line, then I wrote this article.
Yeah. Oh,
I
God.
did the line. Wait, what?
Chop it up fine.
But if we didn't
Let's
have-
do some
But if we
lines.
didn't have news like this, then we wouldn't be laughing about it. So, oh,
I'm just
God.
shaking my
But,
head
you know,
because I
it's-
still can't wrap my
Exactly.
mind around this.
There's no connotation. There's no connotation. This is like the worst.
Yeah, we need context. If a professor wrote this, they need to be let go.
Fired.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like, that's just
If a student wrote this,
Idiocracy,
the
like-
professor who okayed it needs to be sent on leave. That's what professors
Hold
do.
on,
when
I'm
they're
reading
bad.
the name of the article. Professor Indiana. Just shut up.
Oh,
We got
really?
trolled.
Man. Oh, Indy, in your old age, you become so senile. So, yeah. Dormammu. Yeah, it's not Islamophobia. It's all the minivan Taliban basics driving their kiddos around from one sport to another while slugging Starbucks. Yeah, I would have to say. I would have to say that. Yeah. Plus, on top of that, Leonardo DiCaprio. So, and hail John Rendell. How's it going?
Hail John
friend.
Rendell.
We'll be back shortly.
Hey.
At a Diet Pepsi. you're contributing to global warming because that means you have to drive out and get it and then drive back. So, shame on you. Anyway, so for all of you guys that might remember a few months back, probably maybe around earlier this year, maybe the middle of this year, we talked about the cast, the young in their 20s cast of a show that was going to be coming out, another alien show, I do believe, Alien Romulus.
Okay.
Remember that?
Wait, is this a Star Trek show or an Alien franchise show?
Well, this is an Alien franchise show because
why are they mixing those things together? They couldn't come up they couldn't call it like Spartacus.
Well, because again, we bang with the karma gods, and this is our punishment. So
this is the Fast and the Furious versus Jurassic Park. We're going to mix things together.
That's right. But this from Bounding into Comics, Alien Romulus gets Ridley Scott's seal of approval. It's fracking great.
Bounding into Comics, the most imprecisely. How many times will they have like people saying no ellipses to straighten things out? It's like, well, it's like I can't believe how excited, like you wouldn't believe. Here's the point. And then the quote, like, this is Bounding into Comics. So expect a word salad, people.
There we go.
They're unedited.
I don't believe in global warming, but I'm fully in favor of it. There you go, John. Nice of you to contribute. So, so as everybody knows, Ridley Scott is the creator of the Alien franchise series, and as everybody knows, Prometheus. Well, it depends on your proclivities whether or not you think it was good or not.
It made no fucking sense. The fan theories beat the movie. It was edgy and it looks cool, but about an hour after I saw it, I'm like, that was some bullshit.
And Noomi Rapace was hot. Don't get me wrong. Noomi Rapace was hot, but
yes,
that movie fucking stunk.
It is.
Yeah,
those. And then you have to account for the Alien versus Predator movies, which doesn't make sense because that's for.
Oh, they don't tie in really.
They don't tie in.
And now you can drink a bottle of wine with alien piss in it and turn into an alien. It was so much stupid shit in that movie. They couldn't save it. You know what?
It was good entertainment. I'll give it that, and that's pretty much about it.
One time,
it's like about vinyl bodybuilders that created aliens, us, and maybe even the Predators. We just don't fucking
right. Know. And what got me wasn't it Ridley Scott who killed off what's his name, Blomkamp, when he wanted to do his own Alien movie? It's like, no, you can't do that. I got to do mine.
Yeah, exactly. So bastard. Any filmmaker taking over a major franchise for a Hollywood heavyweight would likely seek that heavyweight's approval of their installment in the popular series, even if they don't admit it. That appears to be the case with Fede Alvarez, who directed the next Alien sequel entitled Romulus. It's far from its release date, even though we kind of reported of it earlier this year, but Alvarez had a cut ready for Ridley Scott. Rather interesting. So,
is that the mosquito from Jurassic Park? Please.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say yes.
Oh my god, I need a drink. I'm already.
Why do these things that I joke about end up being true?
I don't know.
Next is Vin Diesel. Like he's gonna walk up, grab the staff with the mosquito on it, and be like, "Family."
Yeah, it's all about family. I didn't want you to get bit. So. And it's top with Guillermo del Toro, another veritable titan of cinema, at the DGA Latino Summit. Alvarez mentioned his jitters over Scott possibly disliking the film. He said, I wanted him to see it before anybody, Alvarez said via comicbookmovie.com. And everyone gave me the heads up that Ridley is really tough, as in his approval is hard to get. Yeah. He's really tough, particularly if it has something to do with his movies. He was really tough.
He even disapproves of himself in like 3 out of 5 cuts of Blade Runner.
That's true. He was really tough on Blade Runner 2049, which I thought was a masterpiece. And he had issues with it because it's really hard for him because of his, because it's his work. I asked him about
story
Top Gun, and he's like, meh. I'm like, what are you talking about? Alvarez added. So to which he responded.
I asked him about Top Gun. His brother made the first one. You know what I mean? He's not
Yeah.
Tony Scott. That's why he said that answer. He's like, this guy's an idiot.
He was like,
this interviewer is an
my
idiot.
brother's was original, and this was like, I really respected it, but you could see how tough he was. So I was like, there's no way I can win this one.
I don't think it's unfair to think that your brother's vision was better than anyone else's. He was his brother, and he's passed away since. That's what a stupid thing to say.
He thought Alvarez admitted he was terrified of the negative reaction, but this fear was for naught as Scott received Romulus positively. So, but yeah, I mean, you know what? Going back to like what Teague said with Top Gun, I thought the sequel was pretty damn good.
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah.
You know,
it's fair to say the sequel's better. And if you want to indulge in fun stuff like Is He a Ghost, it's even more fun, gets another view out of it. My opinion is that he is.
Yeah. Dormammu says, next, Jerry Seinfeld in a new Predator movie. What's the deal with the dismemberment? What's up with that? So, and hail to Al Nickerson. Mr.
Al
Nickerson and pundit himself. Yeah, Blade Runner.
We have a celebrity in the chat, ladies and gentlemen.
My all-time favorite film.
Cool.
Yep, it is. It's a really good film. So, I mean,
really, you like the final cut the best, Al?
I'll say this on that because that is my all-time favorite movie. I like the international cut with the narration. To me, it's just it's
I like the narration as well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Al, if you're still out there, I'd like to know what, if you can think of it offhand, what's your least favorite cut of the movie? Original theatric 1 or 2?
There you go. There's a good question.
I couldn't stand when they did not the final cut.
We have a guy who creates stories out there. Let's ask a real wordsmith. Maybe he can tell
By
us.
the way, do you guys know? Some people don't. Do you know Blade Runner and Aliens are in the same universe? That's why I wish they'd do it.
Yes, but I don't like that. I don't like that notion. I never cared for the notion.
The guy says that's in the same universe, and so does the soldier guy, right?
I
think it's Ridley
Scott
at that one.
Yeah,
he's come out several times and said they're in the same universe, but the tones in the movies are so different tone-wise. It's like I don't want them to be in a shared universe.
No, but it's
not everything needs to be
Time
interconnected.
eras too. Yeah, I know exactly.
You know what though? Here's the thing. With Alien, right? The first movie opens up maybe 20 years away from a Blade Runner like Earth that they left. I don't know. We see the sky. That's it. At the end of, is it Covenant with Winona Ryder? That one, right? We see just the sky. When we go to Earth a couple of times in Alien, we are in rooms, in buildings. There are no windows. If we see outside, it's dark and dismal like it is in Blade Runner. So as shared as it is, it's not like, like connected, you know what I mean? Like it's as shared as you want it to be.
Well,
they stand alone completely. The Fifth
I
Element
think the rumor is that
with Kurt Russell. I
think the word is they're supposed to be interconnected because there's lots of Easter eggs between Blade Runner and then Aliens. Like, there's some shared technology.
Reuse props.
Well, remember in Prometheus, they had that replica, and then he ended up taking, and being in the next film after. I can't think of his name right now, but he was a replicant. So, I mean, they do kind of.
The person who threw the skeleton in the trophy case in Predator 2 made how much money for people with that one-off decision one morning? Oh, you know what? We have one more prop. Throw in. Boom.
Yeah.
Comic books, movies.
So to which you did add,
I will say this much about the connectivity of the Aliens and Predators thing.
Sure.
The PlayStation 2 era, from like the early arcade to PlayStation 2 era, from the beat 'em up Alien versus Predator to the Kenner toy line,
right,
to the comic books from Dark Horse.
Yes.
And with the finale of Predator Concrete Jungle and the AVP series for the video games of the past decade.
Yeah.
Those have an interconnectivity woven into them. Weyland-Yutani is a very dangerous and foreboding presence, and you can see through many different points in time the development of these two companies into the juggernaut that it was in Aliens, with the fact that the Colonial Marines are not national Marines at all. They don't represent the Earth
No.
They represent the corporation that hires them. They are mercs. They're
East India Company.
Exactly. Exactly.
They're the
I
And-
just want to say, hold on one sec. I just want to say hail to Ray Lucard that also joined. Ahoy to
Hi,
you,
Ray.
and also
hail
to
to the
Matt
resident
Walken.
necromancer, Ray Lucard. He's
Exactly.
Star Wars
Hi-
necromancer.
Hi,
Yeah,
Dad, man.
David 8 in Prometheus. He was an android, but I think also so.
Yeah.
But
So
Prometheus
there you go.
doesn't respect that. What I'm saying is Prometheus and that whole trilogy.
Oh yeah,
what
no, I
they're
agree.
doing,
Yeah.
it does not. It does not even acknowledge the epoxy of a decade, at least a decade's worth of well-written lore. It can.
No.
be
Oh,
done.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
So the
yeah.
article goes on, and then he walked into the room, and he did say, "Fede, what can I say? It's freaking great." He recalled. For me, it was like my family knows it was one of the best moments of my life to have a master like him, who I admired so much, to even watch a movie I made, but particularly something like this. So you know what? I gotta hand it though. For the creator of such a franchise like that,
yeah.
let's put it that way, to receive high praise like that is quite an accomplishment, I would say. So,
Mhm.
Al Nickerson says, I saw the first Blade Runner film in theaters. I do like the lack of narration version best. And I don't like the happy ending as our heroes drive through a nice, beautiful environment. Yeah, I kind of thought that was.
So to
maybe
me, that would mean
the
the worst version would be, I guess, is it American cinematic narration and happy ending, right? Worst of both worlds for Ray, for Al. Al, thank you very much. It was very nice to get an answer from you about that.
It's very diverse. There's some people that like that version, some that like the original. I like the international because there's a little bit gorier scenes in it. So
You know what? I like every version. I will say.
oh,
that.
they're all brilliant.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
They all have that little
Yeah,
tidbit of something else that is extra. That it's like, you know what? Put it all together and make like the ultimate Blade Runner.
Oh, that
Yeah,
exists. There's
there's
actually a
no-
box set with
well,
every version.
It's-
It's
Oh,
pretty
okay.
amazing.
that is-
Yeah.
final
Romulus
cut
says,
really
personal
just-
hot take: Alien and Starship Troopers are in the same universe.
There you
My
go.
God, can you
You know
imagine?
what?
There you go.
Yes and
You
no.
know what?
I can see
they
the
can't be. In the
connectivity,
book,
but
there are no insects. There are no insects and no life on Earth other than
Starship
humans.
Starship Troopers relies on just massive infantry waves to overwhelm the enemy. It doesn't rely on vehicular superiority or mobile armor.
Yeah.
And it takes the Imperial Guard from 40K's mantra, and
Right.
even if you die, 10 more will take his place.
Yeah.
But the Colonial Marines, you got that massive APC, and you got those drop ships and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
They rely more on their vehicular air to ground superiority as well as their equipment.
Exactly.
So while
Al,
I do like that take, there is too much in the way of like difference in the form of the militaries themselves and how they're organized.
You're
So
saying
that's-
they fight too differently to really make a good.
Still love
comparison.
Yeah.
Starship Troopers though. They're fun.
Yeah, I love them too. I love their
Al
weapons.
Nickerson,
Does that-
right. There's no worst version of Blade Runner. And hail to
Hey, Snorty.
Rufus.
Hell yes.
The next
Snorty, how
question
you
I
doing
have-
today, bud?
Nordy, hello.
The next question I have for everybody, you don't have to really answer it. It's just sort of rhetorical. Is like,
Right.
is the final cut just 35 years of beta testing put together the best way possible to get it ready for a sequel? Because really,
Probably.
this guy had like 5 different screen tests. They were called actual releases. You know what I mean? Like he had a lot of time to come up with that final.
Well, that
thought.
was Ridley Scott's final version. That's the one he liked the best.
Right.
There's the
I'll
one
have
they
to-
initially released right after on the first one on DVD. I didn't like that version. It was more of a romance story and stuff and blah blah. And then they came up with the final cut later, which was a lot better than that. Yeah. So
Now the
but
only
I
thing,
get-
the only problem I got with Prometheus, right, is it goes along the lines of this whole panspermia kind of thing, right?
Right.
Which in itself is kind of flawed in such a way that if you go, let's say hypothetically speaking, right, if you go by the whole theory of evolution kind of blah 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 blah, right, you would have to surmise in such a way that, okay, if these creators, these engineers, right, planted the seed on Earth for all life to evolve, or at least mankind in this case, right? Then you would have to think, okay, well, did somebody, before the engineers came along, did the same thing with them, right? You have to like constantly regress further and further and further back in time, and
Like
then
where
you
did it
have to-
begin?
Yes, and then exactly.
That's almost
Then how did life begin in the first place? Because theoretically speaking, because I did study, astronomy and astrophysics, and way back when, there was an extraordinarily brilliant, I believe it was a Russian mathematician, that worked out the exponential bits of information in the universe, right? And he surmised, because the math was flawless on this, that essentially that the exponential bits of information in a wholly inorganic universe could not possibly add more additional information to support organic life to bring about life itself. That basically the baseline inorganic material in the universe can't build on top of that, because you still have the same exponential bits of information in an inorganic universe to create or to make organic life.
But then you're getting to subatomic matter that are made of light and matter, and there's a good book written on it. Stephen Hawking's The Big Bang Theory and stuff. It's really brilliant about the Big Bang that happened, that started it all. It's quite a really interesting read. I would suggest checking it out. Stephen Hawking's. It's amazing.
There you go.
I'm on the now. I don't want to get too spiritual about this, but I am on the side of the creation of the universe being as if it was observed theoretically, and it only proves that through the many variables that have led to this very conversation that we are having now, it is by the intelligent design and the grace of God.
Yes, it would have to be, because the information had to come from somewhere in order to replicate.
Now, I'm
source.
I always ask the question, if I may. Where did he become? There had to be a beginning to everything. That's what I believe.
Well, see, and that's the problem, because we're held by linear time, and therefore have no comprehension of being outside of time and space, and being in eternity, where therefore space and time is, doesn't really exist. We think of having plenty of time, or we think of a timeline of a beginning and an end. But however, if you're in eternity, which is outside the constraints of time and space, then there always is.
Right? Well, we're getting into the theory of black holes might lead to other universes which exist. So, I mean, we can really break this down deeper and deeper. So,
we could, but we're talking about aliens. So, and hail to Saber the Doom Squirrel that happened to be.
Now, that was one heck of a tangent to go off on.
I know. That's the reason why I didn't want to elaborate further. These are the kind of answers I have on my show.
That's another existential conversation right there.
Do we have a second for me on this one? Just 1 second?
No.
Go for it.
I'm kidding.
All right. No. Here's the thing. Whether we're right or wrong, the most important thing is we should probably conduct ourselves from day to day and moment to moment as though there were a supreme being, because maybe they're right and maybe they're wrong, but like if there is a number where saints come marching in, I don't want to be blacklisted from it.
Right.
Just live a good life.
Right.
By the way,
I just
not to tell anyone they're right or wrong.
The Lake of Fire does not seem to be the ideal venue for your permanent vacation.
Really.
I was raised Catholic.
Well
I'm not
said.
religious myself, but most of my family is, but I respect it. It's respect everybody and care for everybody. All their stuff. That's what I believe in. Just be a good human being.
Someone said it. I am just Catholic. I believe it.
So he continued and talked to me for about an hour about what he liked about it. One of the best compliments, he said, was, the dialogue is great. Are you the writer? To which he said yes. And CBM seconded the notion that Ridley Scott is blunt and hard to please. So his endorsement of Romulus is a good sign on paper. So the last two Alien movies, Prometheus and Alien Covenant,
wait.
one of which was supposed to be an original concept, polarized fans and were seen as signs that he might have lost a step.
Yeah.
Continue.
Can I just point out that the man whose approval he's looking for has made like 3 horrible Alien movies and like 2 great ones? I mean, it means as much as it means.
Yeah.
Yep.
First one, brilliant. The very, very first one, Alien, right? Which started the whole
then he's back
genre
for 3.
of sci-fi horror, right? I'll give it that. Yes, and then I do believe, yeah. Is he back on 3? Was he responsible for 3?
I don't think he's 2. Isn't 2 James Cameron, and he ends up on
2 is James Cameron for sure.
Yeah,
right.
And Ridley Scott is somehow associated with, but I don't think that directly with at that point Terminator. Do they swap jobs for a minute and coordinate?
James Cameron is still
so.
Terminator.
James Cameron's Terminator.
All right. Here's the
yeah.
deal: the people still coordinated between the 2 movies. I think they share production teams and things like that.
They might have, yeah.
Might have.
Yeah, definitely for Alien, I believe. So
I just know I would have loved to have seen the Blomkamp's take on the Alien franchise, because he was going to do a direct sequel to Aliens.
Imagine if Ryan Johnson and J.J. Abrams had this attitude. You know what? The fans deserve a coordinated vision. Let me call up the last director, see what he thinks. These guys just did it. And think about how nobody got paid on their own time. They're like, well, if this guy makes a bad sequel, reflects on my craft, let me take a time out. And then maybe, God forbid, both guys might have been interesting. I bet you that was a great conversation. Love to hear a tape of them talking.
Dormammu says fundamentally space and everything is matter, and gravity being slammed together in a McFlurry of cosmic spoo. Now how that happens is fun for your interpretation.
Cosmic spoo.
I've heard many descriptions of time space, but that is definitely.
I'm using that one. Oh, some cosmic spoo.
Cosmic spoo.
John Reynolds, why are people so eager to meet space aliens? Do they think they'll give us the answers? Peace, eclairs? Yeah, probably not. So
damn, bring us back eclairs.
I know.
Only if those aliens happen to be space dolphins will we have any hope that they will be eclairs that will be rewarded to us. Shout out Raymond
Feliciano. They'll be the space whales from Star Trek 4. Because we don't know exactly where they came from or how they got or what happened afterwards. So
Ken will never know.
So so apparently this is coming out August 16th. Alien Romulus. So there might be some hope that we might get a half decent Alien movie, hopefully.
Well, one, I'm looking forward to seeing Geiger work. I always love H.R. Geiger, who designed the aliens, and he's a brilliant artist. I've always loved his design for that and his art. But
I bet he was fun at parties.
Oh yeah, exactly. Considering how all his art.
Oh, he was perverted himself. You ever seen some of his other work? He's dark and.
I'd like to be a party with him and Man Ray, right?
I actually had a friend that got to meet him. A friend of mine met him. He was showcased his work in Switzerland in one of his galleries. I guess he's a really nice guy, or was a nice guy. So, he had a mind that was out there. That's for sure.
Wasn't Man Ray on the suspect list for being the killer of the Black Dahlia?
I don't know.
That I'm not familiar with.
What I'm saying is he sounds like fun.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds like a barrel of laughs. So considering how every painting was like nightmare induced. So
the fucking nightmare fuel. Yes.
Oh my God. So that being the case, hopefully there is some hope for another Alien movie. I'm just hoping that it goes well. So, and on top of that, most of these actors are going to be in their 20s. So we'll have to see next year in August how well that goes. So and now we're going to turn to comics and
oh boy.
Yes, and the recent issue that came out by Alan Scott and his Green Lantern book. So,
I think I know where you're going with this.
Yep, and of course, as we have a comic creator that worked formerly with DC. It'd be interesting to get his take on this. Comic book readers reject sodomy-filled Alan Scott Green Lantern book by Tim Sheridan. So if
I wonder what went wrong with the public this
Yeah.
time.
I
They just
can't
didn't read it right.
imagine.
I'm going to
So-
snort some of this fascism before I read this comic book.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
please,
There you go.
fascism. You guys are just overreacting.
Gay Lantern.
The gay lantern.
Oh,
Ambiguously
God.
gay
Or John,
lantern.
or as John Rendell puts it, Brown Lantern. So, yeah, because, I'm sure there's burn pens involved at some point here. So, yeah, this book came out. Comic book readers chose not to purchase the sodomy-filled Alan Scott Green Lantern comic book by writer Tim Sheridan, despite Sheridan begging his followers to purchase the book to spite Comicsgate.
Right.
Now, as many of you know, obviously with Comicsgate, and I believe that Al being a I don't know if I could say member, but essentially, getting some of the brunt of what's going on in Comicsgate and stuff like that, and whatnot. Comicsgate generally, for some people that might not know or might watch it on the rewind, or are on Rumble and wondering, what's Comicsgate about? I've heard about it, don't know much about it. Is essentially that a lot of writers, artists, inkers, whatever your job is in comics, that due to perhaps your political beliefs or religious beliefs, or if you're just not on board with all the quote unquote woke stuff, that's
The agenda.
going on, the agenda, right? The message. Well, then you might have a lack of work, or probably no work whatsoever. And in order
Best example of all that is Ethan Van Sciver.
Exactly, Ethan Van Sciver, or our affirmed artist here, Al Nickerson, or let's say R.T. Bear, or the list goes on, and I'm sure probably more than likely Dale Cowan, who did Hulk and Pitt and whatnot, because
I love Pitt. Yes.
yeah, because mysteriously when he was over at Image, he seemed to just disappear. Those books seemed to disappear, and he had to put it out under his own label of Full Bleed Studios. All because I believe he included former President Clinton in his books as being a bad guy, or him getting killed, or something along the lines. Anyway,
didn't he retire? Is he still still out there? I have to find his work.
He's still around, so he's actually on my X.
Such an amazing artist. I loved his work. He's such a
oh
great
yeah,
artist. Oh my God,
his Hulk was like.
Well, I loved Hulk. I was a Hulk fan, but I love Pitt too. From that, it was it was amazing. Oh, I love that character.
That was a great era back then.
Oh
so,
yeah.
Tim Sheridan wanted to do this to basically, I'll show this Comicsgate people something here. You're gonna purchase this, please purchase my book. I'm so desperate. So, if you're not afraid of your product, you shouldn't have to beg people to buy it, right?
No.
Because let's face it, if it's good, the people will come. Right? Makes sense, right? If you got a good product, right? So in the middle of October, Sheridan took to X to beg his followers to purchase the book, saying, "I'm here to ask you a favor. The book comes out next DC Tuesday, October 24th. But already the haters and the queer phobes are out in force doing everything they can to see that this book tanks. They use code to make it sound like they have a legit problem with the book that they haven't read yet. But the truth is, they just don't like that there is a queer superhero in the upper ranks of the DCU. The only
you know what? I'm going to say this in an uncoded way. This just sounds stupid. I don't hate it. I think that it's self-hating in itself. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Not going to sell.
The only way we can shut these people down. See, it's always about shutting these people down all the time.
And making the right people angry.
Exactly. Is to make this book an undeniable success, he continued. The only way to prove to the big publishers, that there's a huge market for authentic stories about LGBTQIA plus characters, and that these stories are for everyone, is to buy the heck out of books like this.
You know what?
You know,
I just want to answer those questions. One, probably yes. Two, definitely no.
Yeah. Because you know what?
There's probably a market for these books if you narrowcast.
If you're
If you
there
like
to
Captain
everybody
Marvel,
say,
that's
do me
the
a
problem.
favor. You know, you're pandering when you're asking for
Yeah,
people to do you a favor, right? When you're begging
we're narrowcasting.
That's the
You
problem
have to have
right
a very
there.
specific
Your
outlook to enjoy this.
Yeah, the problem there is your target audience is such a small percentage of the comic demographic. I mean, you're already dealing with a small percentage of the general population. When you distill that down to people who will buy comic books, that's an even smaller percentage. So
may I add,
I have no problem with the people. I'm sorry. I have no problem with the people in that lifestyle. I'm saying if you just put the book out there, expect small number of sales because it's a small percentage of the population.
If the books
shouldn't, if the books are good, they're good. If they're bad, they're bad. I mean, sales will show that.
Perfectly said. Yes.
Can I just add this one? Here we go.
One sec. Dormammuses in brownest day, in butchiest night, no fine booty shall escape my sight.
Had to throw in the brown part.
There you go. Sci-Fi Mummy. Okay, I have to ask, if it was a lesbian-filled Green Lantern comic, would you feel different?
Yes, most people would.
Most people probably would. So, you know, but then again, does anybody want to see that? Right?
No. Can I just throw this one out there?
One sec here. Al Nickerson, EVS, who once drew Hal Jordan Green Lantern series, did a great video about Gay Lantern. I do like the comics gay guys and gals. Cancel culture does exist in the comic book industry. There you go.
If you're guilty of wrongthink.
Exactly. John Rendell, why can't they get it through their friggin' heads? Comic book readers want an adventure, not a message.
And let me add to this quickly.
People in these offices and in these production companies honestly feel like they can only cater to the demographic of a certain age bracket who just happens to live in a saturated world of the very same message.
Yep. Go ahead,
Tom. I'm going to bring up this point. Like I said, I was collecting the Angela series that was out through Marvel. They released it, and it was good. And I've said it before. There was a trans female character. It was a trans woman. They never really pointed it out, but they didn't have to. And it wasn't bad. It didn't sell just because comics don't sell as much. It's hard to get them out there. But it was a good character because I'm like, they're not focusing on that. It was very minimal. But she existed. I'm like, okay, if you're going to do it, don't make it the focal point. There's no message to it. It just exists. But nowadays, they want to force a message down people's throats. No, just have the comic. And if the character is whatever, it's ever. But just write a good story. Simple.
Yeah. If you force a message, you're going to turn people off. No matter where they're coming from on the political spectrum. If you've got a good story of good versus evil, something basic, something is stripped down to say, the original first Star Wars movie, good versus evil.
Exactly. Simple. Now, you were saying, T?
Yeah.
You were going to say something?
Oh, okay. Yeah. My comment was just this, and good thoughts, everybody around the horn. Honestly, thought-provoking conversation with my friends, but this is what I'm saying. When we're talking about how it's taking a toll and all the self-owning and the stupidity of this, I just want to say something right now. Every time these comics have failed and every time these movies have failed, you have blamed your audience. So right now, after is 12 years safe? About 12 years of this is what we have, right? Yep. Come see our movie, come buy our comic. And in your mind, you would be crazy and very inobservant if you didn't say this to yourself. What the fuck kind of people are going to be in this movie theater, in this comic store that I don't be? My God, there's going to be istophobes and Yahtzees. And, it's like, where do I want to go for the weekend? Jail or the movies to see Captain Marvel? That's the perception that they themselves have created. Like, you know what? Sometimes just take the L and STFU.
Yeah. There you go, Doramu. Yeah, can't we just go back to
Thank
don't
you.
do drugs, eat hostess? Exactly.
That reminds me of that "Don't put it in your mouth" commercial with the little blue people. Don't put
Yeah,
it in.
exactly.
Yeah.
And on
Or
behalf
to
of Wendy
quote-
Trauma
or to
Warrior,
quote the
don't
collector-
stop.
To quote
On
the
behalf of
collector
Wendy,
from
stop
Demon
putting
Knight,
things
if
in your
it
ass.
makes you feel good, do it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Wait.
So Tim Sheridan put out a tweet on X. Comic friends, queer friends, allies. See, they always use allies.
I don't have allies. I have
like that,
friends,
right?
you fucking
Yes.
weirdo.
I need your help. Please.
We're quite
share
safe
this
from your
and-
allies
and-
here.
And let's work together to deliver CG a big L. So, like, okay, so this is what he put.
Hey, I'm Tim Sheridan, writer of DC's Alan Scott, the Green Lantern. and
Nobody
I
cares.
just opened up a box of advanced copies of issue 1, which look amazing. This is the main cover, which also gets a virgin foil variant, and that's by the great and powerful.
Ooh.
David
Oh, that is
Gillespie.
an
There's
ugly
also
cover.
2 other amazing
It is,
variants, one
actually.
by
That
John K.
is.
Snyder III, and this beautiful portrait by
It's so
Nick
blank
Lorber.
and
I am here
empty
to
and
ask you,
unimaginative. It
the
just
book
looks
comes
empty.
out next DC Tuesday, October 24th, but already
Give
the
me a reason to
haters
buy
and
it other than
queerphobes are
this.
out in force. doing
Wait,
everything
what's
they
the story?
can
Tell me
to
why it's
see that
exciting.
this book
Hold on.
tanks. They use code and they make it sound like they have legit problems. With a
So,
book
so he
they
has
don't
no
write.
story points.
But the
Buy this
truth
to make
is,
people mad.
They just don't like that there's a queer hero in the upper ranks of the DCU.
What's your hero do? Why are they
The
hero?
only way we can shut these people down is to make this
Shut
book
us
You're not
a
selling-
undeniable success.
Wait.
What?
When does
What
he
are you
sell his
talking
book?
about?
Hold on, hold on.
Wait, so pause this for a second. This man has at no point told us why we should buy his book, what's cool about his hero, why they're important, what makes them relevant, what makes them cool. He's just complained that you need to buy this book to get his message out, and if you don't, the whole world gets a big W on him.
Just
and
basically
the Istaphobes and the
The only
Yazis.
way we
Yes,
can
yes.
Yeah,
Insult the
This
comic
is the
book
only
fan,
way
yeah.
to vote against Hilter is to buy this book.
The only thing that I got a problem with is that he's a Transformer
That
masterpiece.
this guy exists.
Damn it, Frank! He's a Transformers fan. On top of that, now it's
Oh, I was gonna say,
now
this
my
guy's book
collecting is selling.
exists.
Yes. So
I guess it's
anyway,
okay, but wow, he
How
cannot sell
dare he
shit.
put them
I would
Autobots
never-
off the
Can I just say
Decepticons?
something?
Some
Exactly.
Transformer
I would
man.
never hire this guy to sell shoes. And at
Yeah,
the
there's
end
no
of the day,
robots.
what you're doing is you're selling things. And it's just like, why should I wear these shoes? These are great for running away from your critics and kicking the asses of the people who you don't agree with. Like,
Yeah.
well, are they fashionable? You know, are they comfortable? No, these are
wonder-
the shoes going to make people angry, the right people.
Who's-
But you know, will they stay on my? It's not germane what he's saying about his story. He's not
Yeah.
talking about a story. So what are you trying to hide?
Right.
Is it a bunch of pictures and an agenda?
however,
Yeah, pretty
I do
much.
have to say, I do have to say, the fact that he has Ratchet on the second tier shelf there reminds me that I have to get Ratchet again. So, and on top of that, your MP11 Skywarp is out of date. There's a new one out, so go get it. Jeez, come on, man.
An
And you know what's
undeniable
really no? He's
success.
got a wind blade. That's the kind of
only way to
Transformers
prove-
fan he is. He's got a wind blade somewhere.
Exactly.
That's
Screw
clever.
you.
Mhm.
to all the big publishers that there's a huge market for authentic stories about LGBTQIA plus characters, and that
So
these stories
put
are for
them
everyone.
out there.
Is to buy the heck out of books like this. This one's only 6
No.
issues, and each one has a
No.
few variants. So I'm asking, if you have the means, buy
You're
them.
begging.
Why is
Buy
it
extras.
good?
Begging.
Give
I'm
to
sorry,
people
it's
who
still
really
a
need
niche
Why should we?
audience.
You haven't sold us the first one. Why are you on to telling us we need to buy 2 to make people
This
mad?
is
You
just
did not
begging for
sell
extra
anything.
step.
This could be sci-fi. This could be superhero. This could be adventure and fantasy. We don't know what the fuck it's about.
Yep. Exactly. Carrying on.
Now you might say this sounds like a great way for Tim Sheridan to make a bundle in royalties. Well, no, I won't. Make
I
a
don't
penny
think you have to
because
worry
every-
about that, buddy.
Oh, he won't make a penny. That
won't
is
make a penny.
bull. That is
Look.
no, you won't make a penny because back in the early 80s, okay, now I want to educate everybody here. And Al, you're still in the chat, okay, I want you to verify this for me, okay, because I think it was, I believe around maybe 1981, it was sometime in the early 80s, okay, that DC and Marvel were starting to pay their creators royalties because they were starting to create as incentive to start creating characters and whatnot, right? And then that's how a lot of comic creators ended up like filling their pockets with loads of cash because a lot of the characters that they were creating were big hits with fans. Okay, case in point, let's just say, and I'm just throwing a name out here. Let's just say Rob Liefeld. Okay, with like Cable and Deadpool and all that kind of other stuff. Okay, when he like ended the run on New Mutants and stuff like that, big seller, okay. And then when he restarted like the New Mutants as X-Force and whatnot, and I believe he sold like somewhere's about I can't remember exactly the number, but somewhere's around 10 million copies or something like that. It was because he got paid big time in royalties, and he made a ton of cash, millions of dollars, along with Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane and Eric Larson and all that kind of stuff. And they had that much capital. Now, guaranteed, they only got paid, I believe it was somewhere between 10 months to a year before they would actually see those royalties. But they had a big wad of cash, all of them, to leave Marvel, and eventually had enough capital to start Image Comics. So for him to say that he will not get any royalties whatsoever is a big, giant, fat, juicy lie. He will make royalties, and the only reason why he's pandering to everybody out there and begging people to buy his book is because he wants to make as much money as humanly possible with putting out the message out there so that he can fill his pockets. That is a bold-faced lie that he is making right there. He will get royalties. There you go. Al Nickerson, correct.
Well, I think it's more precise to say he intends to make royalties, but I don't.
Wait.
Sorry.
And hold on. Rob said he did all of that to keep his job, and the Image guys did do well. I love those guys back then. There you go. Yeah, back then.
Oh,
exactly.
No, back them. Okay. They're just I forgot my point. Don't worry about it. Move on.
No, I'd seen this
exactly.
point.
Carla says, yeah, Hungry still gets royalties. He does.
Yep.
Hungry boy out there, yes, he still gets royalties on a regular basis, right? And that's why, on top of that, why Hungry Boy protects his identity like crazy, because he does not want to lose his royalties. Because like what happened with Al, what happened with Al with being delayed royalty payments and whatnot from DC Comics, or, some of them were cut off. Yeah, granted, and thank you, Al, for keeping us up to date, because, eventually those checks did show up. But, when you're living under the threat of not getting paid because of your proclivities, right? Because of where you stand religiously, politically, or whatever, then those royalties are always under threat because, we've changed the rules now. Like, for example, what happened with the gentleman there that put out, the fairy tale book that he put, like,
Fables.
Fables. Thank you. That he left for everybody to add on to, because like he said, right? Because now those honorable gentlemen are not in charge, right? And they did everything to skirt around to not pay him, right?
Right.
This guy
also,
here's what I wanted to say. This is the language, but this guy is full of bullshit.
Right. There's one more thing. If this is the clip I saw, I've seen one of these clips.
Yes,
he's coming at this as giving up the royalties. He's making poverty a virtue. It's like, look, I'm not making any money off of this. I'm being virtuous. Look at me. I'm not in it for the money.
That's right.
Even though he's totally in it for the money.
And like Al says, DC checks in the mail, and I never got any of the 2 checks. There you go. Right? Okay, so hold on.
Honestly, this guy, he seems okay. He has the freedom of speech and the right to create this, but it's going to sink or swim on its own merits, and he hasn't sold me on the storiness of it. So I'll say it again. I'll try. Maybe I mangled it last time. He's probably okay, and don't tweet him or anything like that about how you have a problem with. Leave him alone. He has a right to create this. He does. But I will say this. Dude, man, I would not hire you to sell a pair of shoes. You cannot sell. Like, you have not told me anything about the storiness of your story or the heroic nature of your hero. You've just said we'll make people mad, and it's confusing. It's a flashbang to your brain.
Now, we'll just finish this up, and then we'll go to a commercial break.
Single royalty I receive from these 6 issues will go straight to a charity that's very important to me and that I've supported for a long time, the Elton John AIDS Foundation, which works to prevent HIV stigma and provide compassionate care for all communities.
It should work to stop the spread of HIV. It should work. No, in other parts of the world.
Stigma.
Not in North America, maybe, but perhaps in some other places in the world. Here's the thing. It would be much better to just make there be much less AIDS, and that's a more worthy endeavor for your money. So go to prevention and research for a cure.
Yeah,
that's a
anyway,
behavior, but yeah.
I am asking you to join the core. If you care about truth, and
Join the
justice, about
core.
shining a light in the darkness,
No, sorry.
I am going
Here we go.
the darkness. If you think comics are and should continue to be for everyone,
Wait.
justice about shining a light in the darkness.
Okay.
If you think comics are
Sure.
and should continue to be for everyone, or if you just want to force these Comics Gate trolls back under the bridge they crawled out from, please support our book and send a message that the bullying and the lies and the hate have to stop. Everyone deserves to see themselves in comics.
You know, Mike,
Well,
I love the
Why
core,
are you
Mike.
banning the people that want to make the comics? Because they have
Mike-
an opposing view. You're the guys that put them under the bridge in the first place. Oh
You know,
my
Mike,
God.
I
Everyone
love
needs
the
allies.
core,
If
man.
you're an
Every
ally,
paycheck's a fortune. Every meal a banquet. Damn, I love the core.
Now
Exactly.
is the time to step up. We outnumber them. So let's pool our power, vote with our wallets, and beat these assholes. Add as many of these 4 variant covers for Alan Scott, the Green Lantern, to your pull list today. Pick them up in store.
So much
next
for
week.
winning
Sorry,
people over.
I
Thank
doubt
you
you
so much.
outnumber
Yeah.
them.
Okay.
Nice
Sorry.
charm offensive. I'm offended by your attempted charm.
When you're done, I'm gonna have a say, but I'll wait till you're finished. Good.
Okay. Chrissy, hail, Chrissy. How's it going? Ski guys, I'm going home. So, okay. So, okay, hold on here because I'm gonna go to commercial break and breathe a little bit here. So,
Commercial
yes.
break time.
Oh, you're not gonna.
Yay.
Okay.
目移りするの地位の悪い癖だよ。だって長いんだもん。長さに騙されてんじゃねえよ。え？避けるグミ一袋分並べていくと、ほら、同じ長さになるの。食べやすいようにわざわざ切ってあるんだよ。
何それ？
トールさん優しい。
避けるグミ対長い避けるグミ。
The plot thickens. She realized the error of her ways.
何それ？
Oh my God.
Meanwhile, the Hall of
So-
Injustice.
Meanwhile, back to the news article that is making headlines everywhere. So Sheridan went on. This is only 6 issues, and each, like you said before, just to recap, and each one has a few variants. Oh yeah, because people didn't have enough of variant covers, like i.e. Star Wars when it first came out, like a few years ago, that had 100 covers.
I hate
So-
when they do that.
Oh, I know, right? God. So I'm
90s
asking,
gimmick covers.
I know.
There you go.
Todd
I'm
still does it to
asking
this
you
day
if
with
you have the
Spawn.
means to buy them up, buy extras, right? So basically, yeah, buy extras to prop up the sales, right? That's what he's running to give people you think really need to read it. Oh my God, right? So then he claimed that he would not pocket any of the profits, like he said before, because I went on a rant there, right? From an assumed increase in sales from his pitch, and you might think this sounds like a great way for Tim Sheridan to make a bundle of royalties. Well, no, I won't make a penny, bullcrap, because every single royalty, bullcrap, I will receive from these 6 issues, right? And I wonder why there's only 6 issues. Why isn't this a continuing series? Probably because
What's the
entire
story about?
Yes, I will go straight to a charity, like you mentioned before, that is very important to me and that I have supported for a long time, the Elton John AIDS Foundation, which works to prevent HIV, like HIV stigma. Like if you have it,
What are you pitching here? A comic book,
There's
or are you
stigma.
pitching a charity?
Well,
I have nothing wrong with the
that's
charity,
it.
but where's the story? I've heard
No,
nothing.
no,
Right.
about
but- and which one are you
We still
pitching?
don't know
What-
anything about the
so-
story yet, right?
Yeah.
Why-
I would like to
why-
know a little bit about this product before I buy it.
Why are these
Yeah.
2 things so intertwined? Why
Yes.
is this why are they so related? What about your hero makes it germane to the point? You're just ranting. This is like semaphore. It's like I see flags
Yeah.
and stuff, but I don't know exactly what you're trying to say, bro.
It hurts my head.
It does. It hurts my head so much. Oh my God, it burns. So it goes on, yeah, and to send a message that bullying and lies and hate has to stop. But here we go. Here's the thing, right? That lies and
Bullying.
He's
that
using hate
The hate
How
against.
very 2016 of you.
exactly, Pop.
He's
Exactly.
using hate to push his product
Yeah.
to try to get support by spreading hate against the people he doesn't like. I mean,
That's right.
He did.
I
He
don't
did appeal
hate-
to ridicule his critics. He appealed to people to ridicule his critics. So
But there's nobody.
That's in there.
I don't even see any hate. There might be dislike for the product, but that's not
The
hate.
appeal to ridicule is pretty hateful.
Yeah.
Well,
If you're criticizing a product, right? I don't care if it's a comic book or a movie or something that you buy off the shelf at a grocery store, right? If you don't like the product, it doesn't necessarily mean you hate it. It's
Right.
just that you don't like it. That your tastes, let's put it that way, your tastes are different from somebody else's. Just because you do not go with this NPC mentality does not mean you hate it. It means that
Everyone here,
it's not for you.
everyone,
and there's
Right,
every single member of this
exactly.
panel
It's not
fully
for you.
endorses this guy's right to have this thing exist and have his freedom of
Exactly.
speech. We
You know-
all 100% endorse it. Do we think it sounds so great? We got freedom of speech too, bro.
Right.
Yes. Here's
I'd
the
say
other
it
thing.
sounds so great if I knew what it was about.
Yes.
Ah,
Everyone,
you know what the fuck's it about?
Here's the thing. Everyone deserves to see themselves in comics. Well, if that was the case, then there wouldn't be a comics game
Why I
in the
drew in my
first
own
place.
comic when I was 10. I mean,
Right.
get past it.
Right.
And again,
Here's the
everybody
story
needs- yeah,
of
sorry.
a man from
Go
Kentucky
ahead.
who was the star of his own comic book. He goes to
Yeah.
work and he pays his bills, and he really doesn't have good looks. So who's going to buy that? Probably no one.
Right.
In fact, I doubt I'll ever make a red cent. So that's why
Right.
everybody shouldn't be put into the fine print. Okay?
Exactly.
Comics are about the people that are extraordinary, and they are supposed to be fantastical and take us out of the real world.
Yes,
If there was
Right.
comic
perfect.
books that
Yeah.
literally starred
supposed to
everybody
be-
on planet Earth, they would all be fucking boring.
Yeah, there's
Yes.
supposed to be an element of escapism to him.
Yes.
Yes.
With all this being
Yeah,
said about this, I hope he does well. I'm not a supporter. I'm not an ally. I'm not going to put my money toward that.
Right.
But it's not coming from a position of hate. It's coming
Yeah.
from a position of being a religious conservative.
Yes.
There's things I can't support,
Yep.
but I'm not going to stand in his way. It's like, more
No.
power to you, dude. Hope you
Yeah.
do well.
I would
If
say
you
to
think you
you,
can do it, great. If you don't, then don't say, like, for example, because this is what they'll do now that the Marvels is coming out, then
Yeah.
they'll
Oh,
say,
no.
like, it's all of you people. You people are the problem. It's no.
I don't think you're
you
going to hide the Marvel's failure.
Suck it
looks like
up,
it's pretty big.
Buttercup. You produced a crap product that nobody likes. Now it's time to put the big boy pants on or the big girl pants on and just admit to yourself that your product was not good enough to everybody's likings, right?
Can I
But it
just,
goes-
or appealing enough? And may I just say, I stand
Exactly.
shoulder to shoulder with my very good friend, Pop Culture Republic. He's a great guy, and he's right. And I just want to say, without even adding to, because he said it well. And another aspect of criticism on this one is, you're going to insist on reality in an escapist forum. That's very contradictory. I mean, you're insisting on reality. It's like,
Exactly.
what's the
You're
movie
not-
about?
you're
You
not-
go in
Yeah.
there and somebody breaks into a car, and then they take the radio out, and you see, then like at the end of the movie, you see the guy filling out the insurance forms. The man who filled out his taxes, coming soon.
Yep.
By the way,
Dormammu
how
did
dare
call
you
it,
say
yeah.
he wears his or her pants? He might wear they them pants.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Dick Grayson, laughs at the quiet discomfort. Exactly.
Hey,
John
Dick
Lincoln.
Grayson, do me a super solid and meet me
John
out in
Lincoln-
the back alley.
Dick man, call you
one-
Richard.
No one wants to see themselves in comics. They want to see someone who can inspire them. Precisely.
Right.
Precisely.
Yeah, where's Oppressor Conquistador mail to
Yeah.
represent me?
Everyone needs allies, and if you're an ally, see, because now he's calling on the quote unquote army, right? Because this is what it is. It's the allies and enemies. It's as simple as that. Now
the
it's time
Kiss
to
Army
step
is
up,
more
right?
powerful.
Yeah. We outnumber. He thinks, we outnumber them.
Pop
So
gets
let's
it.
pool our
Yeah,
power,
I get that.
go with our wallets and
I'm a
beat
colonel.
these a-holes, right? So again, we have the hate has to stop, but everyone needs allies, and if you're an ally, now's the time to step up, right? The hate
If you
has
fight
to stop.
fire with fire, the hate will never stop, you
The hate
idiot.
has to stop, but let's call on the allies and beat these a-holes, right? So exactly. So
I'd
what
rather
you're saying
lose with
is totally
dignity. I'd
contradictory
rather
to
lose
what
with my head
you're
held
saying.
high.
Yeah. So, because, here we go. Because this is what everybody needs to see in comics. It's just a bunch of sodomy going on. Nobody wants to see your love affair, what you do in the bedroom. Nobody cares.
Nobody wants to see it with straight couples. They
No.
don't want to see it with gay kids. Like, leave that for
No.
like
The
I
last
would
thing-
go on a rant about a person that I work with
Yeah.
who is bringing their bedroom personalities into the workplace.
Yes.
Because it is the same message. This dude, I don't care if he wears a dress, but he wears furry cat ears on his head.
Oh, God.
And it goes against dress code to have any kind of headgear on your head outside of headphones when you're working.
Yep.
So he got a special fucking case from HR in this Bidenomics bullshit economy that we live in. Okay. Right. And here I am going, I want to wear my fucking trucker hat. I live in Kentucky. I wear a fucking trucker hat. All right.
Yep.
And I can't go in there and wear my trucker hat. But this motherfucker could go in there and wear his silly little fetish cosplay bullshit.
Yeah.
No, it's not
Exactly.
okay. And then whenever he's
Exactly.
hollering for a lead, he says, I need an adult. He's 40 plus years old. So you're bringing another fucking sexual proclivity into the fucking workplace, and a bad one at that.
Yep.
This is the world we live in nowadays, where people are pampered to with this. Comic pages, just like what you're showing right now, Mike, is the reason why our kids are being attacked by the comfort levels of being this proclivitous of this kind of behavior. It's not okay. It's not fucking okay.
No,
I'm gonna
it's
shut
not.
up. I'm getting tired.
Carla Burton, if you outnumber them, why do you need to buy multiple copies? Exactly, Carla.
Yeah,
Why?
that's a good one.
Why? If there are so many of you out there, then why? Why would you have to, right? Dormammu, this is what happens when your flashlight and flashlight gets together. Exactly. Exactly. So, John Reynolds, LGBTQ are 12 to 16% of the population. Scaled down to the comic book reading public, that means that that in no way do they outnumber us. There you go. It's the numbers. You're playing the numbers game.
Exactly.
You're
You're dealing with an even smaller percentage of a percentage.
That's right. So there you go. Yeah, Bear Lantern. Yeah. So, oh my God. But yeah, that's you just picture this. Okay.
God no. Now I need another drink. Thanks.
You picture this, a little kid, okay? Let's say
Can we
10,
get to the New York Post?
say
This is
9,
horrible.
10, 11,
have to say when you're done
12 years
this.
old that goes
This
in
is so
wants to buy a comic book
hardcore.
and happens to buy this or something like that, and then he's wondering, right? An innocent child, okay? Picture
Brokeback
it,
Lantern.
and gets this.
Oh my God.
Oh, it gets
What
worse
is he
and worse.
supposed to
Everyone gets this? Did he really say that? This is Brokeback Green Lantern.
It is.
Brokeback
is.
Lantern.
How
Or
can you
Lantern
I will not
All right.
dispute this guy's point that there's a market, but I'm not saying it's much. This is what's called narrow casting. This
Right.
is highly specific, man.
Right.
you know
This
what?
is for a
Look,
specific audience.
Then target that
this is a
specific
very-
audience.
Deeply,
The rest of us-
oh, they're
very
targeted, bro.
mature audience. This is for
be
a
proved as
mature
well.
audience. Anything, let's say, over the age of 18. Okay, that's what it is, right?
I
You
think
get
more like
9,
30
10,
and so
12.
graphic, but yeah,
Yeah,
18's
exactly.
fine.
Exactly.
Isn't there like an MSRB rating for comics as well? That because it should be slapped on the front cover and saying, "Hey, look, this is meant
Yes.
for this audience."
For mature readers only, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
am I allowed
here,
to say
here, look
Green
at- look at this.
Lantern?
Look at this last caption, the very last caption. I'm sorry, it's just this, us, Johnny, it's a sin. So they're even admitting in the comic, well, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. But you already put the imagery out there.
Yes,
You
you put
already-
it
I
out
love
there.
it whenever
You're
they're
trying-
self-aware. I love it when they're
already
self.
doing
Yeah.
the damage. You're already
You're trying to
doing the
make
damage.
something fringe
Yeah.
mainstream. You're trying to take something that's taboo and make
Exactly.
it mainstream. You're trying to make it
Green
permissible.
Lantern.
Yep.
Admiral Teague in the
So
chat.
much docking. Remember when they used to say this for Heavy Metal magazine? Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. This is practically a mainstream heavy metal, but for kids. heavy metal magazine at this point. That's what it is.
The point
That's what
is,
it
is it's the same vein as the robot diddling the secretary from the White House. It's any sexual content in any form should be kept away from our kids. We're not saying, hey, bash the gays or nothing. We're saying children have two things to do in their life. A, go to school. B, play pretend. And anything else in between, any of these sexual things that they want to throw down their throats, that is not okay. Gay, straight, doesn't matter. Am I going to look at my 4-year-old and go, hey, look, it's time that we talk about the birds and the bees? What do you mean birds and the bees, Daddy? Are you talking about the blue jays and the bumblebees? No. The birds and the bees. Well, what other birds and the bees are there? And that's
we condemn all violence, but these are some repugnant opinions.
Yeah.
So, leave the
Carla
kids
Burton
alone.
Says, like Carla Burton says, I've been married for almost 30 years and I prefer people to kiss at the door and we know what happens.
Yes.
Right. That's it. Leave it in the bedroom.
Yeah, we used to have a level of innocence in our society and our culture maybe 40, 50 years ago, but that innocence that's been slowly torn down and replaced with what was a counterculture that's now mainstream. Now we're seeing this. We're seeing books like this. If I was running a comic book store now, there'd be like a list of comic books I couldn't sell because I know a lot of people coming into my comic book store would be kids under the age of 18. And there's stuff I could not, in good conscience, sell them or offer them. It's like if I was running a comic book store today, I couldn't sell new books. I'd be heavy in the back issues.
Exactly.
I gotta say right now, if you take your kid to a comic book store, on the point that I said before about the 20 years now of, or 15 years now of just blaming us and saying everyone's a Yahtzee and stuff, like you would have to do more than cursory research not to be just a bad parent from what's in the main about comics, comic book stores, and comic book fans. Like, I'm gonna bring my kid to a Klan meeting. We're reading Conan the Barbarian issue 25.
You know what?
What the fuck? You've destroyed your appeal.
Because at this point, it's no different than taking your child to a drag queen story hour.
Oh, we get down that tangent, I will start screaming.
No. Exactly. Okay. So, and people look out in the chat, whether you're on Rumble or whether you're on YouTube, first of all, I want to thank everybody that is listening into this. And this is why, and I know I say this a lot, or my pundits say this a lot, but this is why, please subscribe, please hit the like button, and please spread this channel around, because I try to get to the news that a lot of people will not touch on, because like I said before, there are bigger YouTubers out there. Yes. And that's all fine and dandy what they're talking about. But you know what? It's, and I'm not meaning to like poo-poo on their channels or anything like that. I'm not. But generally it's always talking about the same thing. How is Warner Brothers like failing right now? How is Disney failing right now? What are they doing? All this kind of crap that's going on, their stock markets and blah, blah, blah. You know what? Generally, and you know what? And I'm not saying anything bad about, like, say, I don't know, like Doomcock or Nerdronic or I don't know, Heels versus Babyface or, any of those guys out there. I'm not. I'm really honest to God not. But you know what? There is like smaller issues that eventually build up to larger issues that nobody looks at or ignores. Okay. It's like what happened in World War II. Okay. And I'm just using this as an analogy. Okay. That because there was
that when Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein?
No, it was Anne Frank that wrote Frankenstein.
There was a pastor.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Mary Shelley wrote Triumph of Will.
At first, they came for one group of people, and I did not stand up and do anything. Then they came up for another particular group of people, and yet again, I stood up and said nothing. And then they finally came for me, only to find that there was nobody left to say anything to stand up for me. And this is
no one could ever say anything. This fuckwit is making an analogy to another country that didn't have freedom of speech. Weimar Germany did not have freedom of speech.
Yes,
I want
and
to
I'm
go
not,
back to
and I'm not
when
trying
you're
to say, and I'm not trying to say, look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm so important. I'm not. I'm just a little cog in a vast machine of what's going on right now. But this, but there are so few channels that go on the little news that always escapes somewhere, somewhat. And this is why I try to bring it to you and hail Rocco the Brave that just joined the channel. Okay, so anyway, carrying on with the article, as Sheridan noted in his book, is scheduled to release on October 23rd, so that's already out right now. And the book failed to break into the top 50 most sold comic books by units list. It also failed to break into the top 50 most sold comic books by dollars list. So essentially, this entire book was a fail. The Comic Hub system for the month of October tracked sales from over 125 stores, and it is a non-random sample of over 3,000 stores selling American comics worldwide. To reiterate, the book did not chart at all. It didn't even make the charts. That's how bad this book
I'm stunned. Stunned that there's gambling in Casablanca.
Yes. I know, right?
Shocked. You're winning, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Al Nickerson, actually, he does raise, a lot of good points. And I'm glad that he is here because he knows exactly what goes on in the industry.
Yes,
because
exactly.
he's been in there. He's been in Marvel and DC. And please, on top of that, I will try to find the link to post it again, but please check out his book, Sword of Eden. It is a really, really, really good read, and he's gathered them up. A second book is on the way on top of that as well. Al, I will try to give you admin privileges so you can put that link into the chat. So he says, have you guys talked to comic book retailers about the Marvel DC woke books? This garbage is hurting stores. I like the idea
very
of
good point.
Supporting more indie books. Exactly.
Very good point. I was running a comic book store for a friend of mine in the early 90s. Right when Image and Valiant hit, right when Death of Superman hit, it was crazy. I was selling books left and right. I would hate to run a comic book store today.
Oh God,
I couldn't support it with the books coming out of the big two.
Yeah, I know the guys run it locally, and it's not easy. It's like,
nope. It's not.
Rocco asked a good question, man. Yep. Rocco's right on point. Rocco's right.
Rocco is always right.
If all of them bought them, how many people are there in that community as opposed to viability of a comic? I mean, has anyone shot the numbers on that one?
I don't know.
No, I've talked to...
Again, I am not saying that people don't deserve the comics that they want to create. You have the beautiful freedom of speech to do that. But if you're going to put that out there, you know what? Maybe take a small business class, educate yourself how to win friends and influence people. Hate. We're going to get even with these guys. We're going to show them up. This book will make people angry. Buy one to put on your wall and one to donate to your library so they'll burn it so you can buy another copy and complain more is a bad business model.
Exactly. And I'm going to say hail to Flip City Magazine. How's it going, guys? Great to see you here.
I'd like to greet both of my friends from Flip City Magazine.
Let me know when you're done this article. I want to have a say.
It has been said that all of our yesterdays have been a path to their own dusty demise. May you fare better, my friends, here on the island of Prospero.
Dormember also says, I'm going to point out the near 30-year bromance of Blue Beetle and Booster Gold. There's a way not to force it down people's throats, pun intended.
May have gone a bit too far in a few places.
Probably. So it didn't even chart at all. So apparently, rival comic book creator John Dill Arose and Bounding into Comics contributor John Dill Arose commented on the book not showing up on the Comic Hub system list, saying it's not in the top 50. So if it's not in the top 50 of books, that means the sales of it are absolutely atrocious. People are not picking this up. He added, it's not selling. It's just not there. So this is huge destructive losses for DC once again, as they're trying to push this agenda everywhere they go, yet nobody wants it. Nobody. Not only did the book fail to chart on the Comic Hub system, but the book is ranked 25,763 in the Kindle store and number 170 for superhero comics and graphic novels. It was like nowhere even in the top 100. Clearly, comic book readers were not interested in the sodomy-filled Alan Scott Green Lantern #1. Boom! There you go, right there. Did not even hit the number 100. Tom, you were going to say, go for it.
I'll wait till you're done reading. The article.
Okay, fine. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Nobody wants the book. Nobody wants it.
I again say the only thing we can do is we have to bring these artists to a cave somewhere and give them just some rudimentary paint and ochre. And say, like, I want a picture of the Great Hunt. Have some imaginative animals that you imagine might have walked the earth 70,000 years ago and start over. Forget everything else. Come back in 25 years. See if you're ready to make a comic.
That's right. That's right. It's like watching a slow-mo implosion. Exactly.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, like I said a few times on a few shows, this is why this rumor is out right now about DC, about Warner Brothers more than likely wanting to dump DC Comics onto somebody.
Whoever will buy them.
Whoever will buy it. And if they do, you know what? Reboot the entire universe. Make it right. Make it right. Because nobody's buying the evidence is there.
Solomon Grundy I've ever seen in my life. That is Solomon Grundy.
That's
there you go.
Like zombie Solomon.
I mean, Solomon Grundy is a zombie, but he's supposed to be the Hulk. The Hulk.
Yeah, exactly. He's like to be beefy, muscly.
Yeah, born on a Tuesday, born on a Monday, died on a Thursday. Solomon Grundy, man.
Yeah.
So I might go off a tangent if you don't mind. So
go ahead.
Is there people that might buy this? Yes, maybe they will. Let him sell it on his own Facebook. Let him do it on his own. Like if he wants to sell it, and don't hate on the people that might not want to buy it. And I'm going to tell you guys who know me there, I'm in that community. I'm the bee in that community. And guess what? Most people don't want that shit. I don't even like when straight people have to do it, let alone seeing. Nobody wants to see people make out in comics. No, we want to see story. I want to see action. I want to see something riveting. And by the way, there's characters that are already in the community. Deadpool is pansexual. Constantine is bisexual. Little known fact, guess what? They don't push it. These characters in the comics have been always existed, but they don't push the agenda.
Spidey kisses MJ, it's like Star Wars, for luck. Like, he kisses her and goes off and does something heroic. It's not like 10 panels of just like, and I want to do this and that. And I was like, yeah, I'm a power bottom, baby. I mean, it's dumb.
I have friends. I have a lesbian couple. They're good friends. They don't read that shit. They wouldn't want to read that. They're like, fuck, no, I want action. I want a good comic book. They're nerds. They don't want this crap. That stuff should be sold on your own personal
gay heavy metal magazine. That's what
exactly listed under heavy metal. Heavy metal was a cool magazine in the 80s. I have friends that actually printed stuff in there.
Might be cool too, but they're not really saying what it is.
But that's not cool. I don't want to
angry.
Read that garbage.
It didn't look appealing.
One last point. Notice not one time did he mention the story. Nothing. We don't know what it's about.
If he had said this is softcore gay heavy metal, I'd be like, let them have their own heavy metal.
Yeah, just have their own thing.
Himself. This guy insisted on not making any sense or telling us anything. For all we know, that thing in the bedroom is like the whole comic. It could be the whole thing.
Exactly. Al Nickerson said, I did reach out to DC with a proposal to let them know that I'd be happy to fix the original Captain Marvel, Shazam. Maybe Dave Zaslav and DePies or Marie Javins will get back to me. Maybe.
And
there you go.
Exactly. Well,
That
and
idea sounds far too intelligent for them to get back to you, but in the hopes of all pop culture, I do hope they do.
Yep, he contacted them 2 days ago. There you go.
We're gonna find out here.
We'll find
Thank
out.
you, Al.
Yeah.
Like
And you know
I
what,
said-
Al? You know what? If you do hear back, hey, I would love to have you on. You can spill the beans if you want to. You know, not that I want to get you in trouble or anything like that, or give away any information that you shouldn't. But you know what? If you want to, you have an open door, my friend. So there you go.
in all communities, we have people who are leaders and creators. I don't claim to be either one, but someone like Mr. Nickerson is. He has created these comics, and I salute him as a mighty general in the war to get across his perspective of pop culture. And let's face it, it sounds like he's talking about much more appealing things than these narrowcast ideas that we're seeing elsewhere that have very specific audiences and very predictable based on politics. If you know their outlooks, very predictable outcomes. These are not stories. These are morality tales, pageant plays, if you would.
And can I just finish a few things here? Like Pop, what you were saying earlier, I 100% agree with you. This is not an agenda that should be pushed on people. And even though people are in the community, most people wouldn't want that pushed on people either. It's just live your lifestyle, live it quietly, and respect others. I love you guys in this panel. And Tony, by that thing you were talking about, the ear thing, that's nothing to do with the community. That's somebody with mental health issues. But we don't work on mental health nowadays, and that's what's wrong with this world.
Right.
Agreed.
All I can say is I hope this guy does well with his book. It's not for me. I'm too far right. I'll just say that to be.
And I respect that exactly. Yeah, but you're still a good human.
I'm not an ally. I'm not a supporter. I'm not going to stand in the way either. I'm not going to attack it.
He's not an enemy. This man is not your enemy at all.
I have friends who are in that community, and I've talked to them about it. And the line of thinking is that if it's out there, maybe it will make kids feel comfortable with something they shouldn't be feeling comfortable. They're trying to target an audience they shouldn't be targeting.
Leave the kids alone.
No one's saying that you're not alone.
That's my point in all of this.
No one's saying anything else except let people make their own decision when they're of age, and
send them,
appropriate messages for their age. Honestly, I would just say this. Let's just say it the way that they are going to portray us saying it. Dice comics klingen skräckligt. These comics sound terrible.
It's awful to even think about.
It looks and sounds like garbage.
It's awful to think about because it's sort of thing you should not have for certain. It just makes me sick to think about it. Actually,
and like I said, there's no hate. People love Deadpool. He likes everything. Constantine is about. We don't hate those characters. So what the hell? Stop saying people hate. That's just
somebody out there is going to say he's not pansexual enough and be like, most of the time he's heteronormative. It's just a virtue signaling from the other side. It's just like it'll never be enough. So two things in life: never say you're sorry, and never pander just a little. Pander hard if you're going to do it.
I'm not hating. I'm just drawn that way.
Exactly. First of all, Rocco, I want to say thank you. Sweet Hop Scoop on Mike's channel. Thank you, Rocco. I really appreciate it. Flip City Magazine. Yeah, why is it so hard to leave kids alone?
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay, so
breather. Yay.
Now, breather. Everybody breathe.
Everybody get away from this subject.
So much anger. So much patience.
Mike, can we stop reading the news? This is why I got rid of CNN.
We are going to find our center right now.
Am I going to have to start drinking? And I gave up a couple years ago.
Why do you
we're going to calm down right now, and we're going to find our center, and we're going to try to end the show on a good note. Okay?
Oh, thank you very much.
There we go. Thank you very much. Now we're going to go to next article right now because everybody, because Deeg.
There we go. Turn the page.
Has alluded to about how old he is. So we are going to give him maybe a little bit of an article right here as we find our center. Everybody, okay? We ready? Okay.
I climbed this long ass 1,000-step staircase to hear this.
Exactly. All right. Be quiet because I'm going to next article. Okay. So, director Chad Stahelski promises Henry Cavill's Highlander film will encapsulate everything you loved about the
Yes.
original movie
Here we
with
go.
more. Okay.
I'll get in the suit and meet you at Silver Cup Studios, Teague. Let's go.
There we go. There we go. Now,
Here we are.
everybody loved original Highlander film, correct?
Oh, yeah. They were
You know
awesome.
what?
Yes.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna put this right out there. I didn't mind the second one. Yes, okay, fine. A lot of people don't like it. I didn't mind it
Were you
whatsoever.
on drugs?
I probably no, because I was a teen and my dad only let me have a sip of his beer, so I didn't get loaded. That being
took drugs in
said,
the parking lot while he was buying smokes or something, bro.
I admit to nothing. So that
was
being said, Henry Cavill and Highlander. I am okay
I've been
with
hearing
this.
about this for 3 years.
I'm okay with
though.
this.
I
Is it
am
hot?
okay
Always
with this.
stays loyal to source material.
Are they
That's right.
finally accepting the success of their test balloon for the last 3 years on this? Because it's
Maybe,
time to make it
maybe.
now before he
Okay.
hits 50.
But once you put a good movie and Henry Cavill, because we all know what a dedicated nerd he is, okay, I have a little bit of hope. A little bit, okay? Not a whole bunch, but I got a little bit, okay? So because I love Christopher Lambert as Gordon Blackcloud in the Highlander. But I'm hoping-
Jennifer Lawrence as the first Highlander was still my favorite, but
okay.
yes, he was
So-
pretty good.
So
This
John
happened to me
director,
last night when some other YouTubers destroyed their channel by acting idiotically.
But he's
well,
only
that's
40 years
actual
old. He's
picture
not that
of me
old,
in
by
my
the way.
apart- That's a
I
picture of
know,
me
right?
absorbing other critics' Star Trek powers right there in my apartment.
So
That's a picture
John
that
Wick
happened
director.
last
Now
night.
we got John Wick director, okay, Chad Stulsky, who is also working with Henry Cavill on the upcoming Highlander project, okay? Recently promised that the movie will encapsulate everything you loved about the original movie with more, okay? So, it's the with more bit that gets me a little bit nervous, but at least still hopeful because Henry Cavill, Highlander, all right? So
That's a
I'm just
10-minute
gonna say
walk
that.
from my apartment, by the way, the Silver Cup Studio building. When I change the train, I see
you
the
go.
Silver Cup sign. And
Now-
like as I walk across the platform, I say every time there could be only one. And that's yet anyone to turn back to me and have like the right response.
So Dormammu says,
One
as a
day.
massive fan of the franchise, they have poked this more than Gravy Lantern. And Cavill doing it makes it sound like Geralt the Immortal. So-
Geralt
And
the
hail
Immortal
to
might
Rancor
not
Steve.
be so hard.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
How's it going, Rancor?
Hello.
Nice to see
Hail,
you.
Ranker
Cool.
Steve. How you doing, buddy?
So, and you just made it, I guess, in the nick of time. Okay, so speaking with the wrap, Stulsky said, we are trying to encapsulate everything you loved about the original with more, meaning we want to ground it. We want it to be a great chance at world building and mythology, but we still want to keep it fun, okay? So, considering how there's a lot of decapitating, well, maybe you can make that fun. I don't know. So,
I wanted to say,
I'll just say that. So, but considering
I agree with heels versus babyface on this one, but I disagree with Az.
Well, you never know because he did do John Wick, and John Wick, as violent as it was also fun. So I'm trying to keep that in mind as well.
That's
so
a joke. They're the same person.
Yeah, it's like the Wick movies, he said. You want to experience this world, you want to believe it's real, but it's also 5 degrees off from reality. Okay, and I can kind of go for that because let's face it, immortals, trying to stay alive, beheading people, blah blah blah. That's what
the
5 degrees off reality in that sense, right? So this is a movie with immortals running around chopping each other's heads off. There's a certain ridiculous to it, which. Granted, okay, sure it is, right? And I get that, and that's what made the original fun. It's like the Wicks. We ride the tone. Everybody in the movie thinks it's real, but we as an audience can get our heads around it. Look, suspend disbelief. We're trying to get you on board for this amazing journey with people who have led hundreds of years. It's a challenge, but I'm very excited, okay? So
this is a much better job of selling your idea. You put meat on the bone of why your hero's a hero, why we should
that
go
last
there,
one,
and what makes him compelling. Yeah.
This gives me a certain level of escapism that I'm actually looking forward to this.
Exactly, right? Because, hey, that's the fun bit about Highlander. It's like, okay, beginning of the movie, it's like, all right, two guys facing off with like two swords. So like, okay, fine. They're in a parking garage. Why are they fighting with swords when guns would do, right? And then you find out, okay, well, they're actually immortals, and the only way to stay immortal is to, essentially eliminate the competition, right? That's what it's about.
And honestly,
the punchline:
who wears a khaki trench coat?
Yeah,
to a sword fight. Who wears a khaki trench coat to a sword fight?
But the tagline of the whole thing: there can be only one. Right? And that's all you need, right? Simple, fun, and like you said, 5 degrees off of reality, right? So I can get.
I gotta give it to Henry Cavill just to make a small point, because if anything, he needs to be Gregor Eisenhorn with the Warhammer 40K project that he's in. Yeah, it's either that or Korvax if they're wanting to do Primarchs. I don't know if anybody knows 40K around here, but
does Highlander count as time travel?
No.
Dormammu says, "Hey, how about instead of rewriting the rules of the Immortals to be actually, how about having a final quickening or just be less stringent?" Yeah, I mean, maybe. I suppose you could. So
something to kind of explain what the quickening was, what the end goal was, because it was kind of vague.
And I'll give this to John, non-specific on more still equals the message. Well,
no, let's not.
Let's hope not. Let's
steer away from that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's keep hopeful, folks. Okay, those of you just clear up a point or on the YouTubes or anything like that. So let's try to at least keep a little bit hopeful. Okay, because I'll put it to you this way. Okay, I'll put it to you this way, because months ago, I was reading about, what was it, trans actors and whatnot, declaring that they're trans, and then the one that I came across, which I actually forgot that was going to be in the One Piece series, okay, because I totally 100% forgot that Koji was actually, this woman from Australia that identifies as trans, and One Piece did turn out good. Right? Because,
didn't make a thing about it.
Exactly. Didn't make a thing about
it. They were like, oh, by the way, this person's trans. Moving on.
And they're good actors. Like, yeah, good job. So I was like, yeah.
That's right. Yep. And they did a good job. So I want to try to at least keep this a little bit hopeful for now, because, again, I want to kind of end the week on a good note, right? So, obviously, of course, in The Witcher, Henry Cavill, well, except I guess not for now, after the 3rd season came out, is very familiar with sword fighting. So I'm going to give it that, okay? To that end, the article says, Stulsky confirmed the film would feature music from Queen. Great! Because it totally 100% worked with the original Highlander film. So,
can I just say, let's remember the singer of the most important song in the movie, Who Wants to Live Forever When Love Must Die, was Brian May, not Freddie Mercury. So we've got the lineup to do a really good song. And with their Rolodex of friends, imagine when they bring in a guy from Black Sabbath, Jimmy Page, or someone of that stature. This could be great. This could be great.
It could be. Dormammu says,
by the way, can I just
much respect
on the quickening?
Adrian Paul, Clancy Brown, and Christopher Lambert to the films and shows. Cavill just seems to want to pick projects where he can flex and sword.
I disagree with that.
I
don't know.
In 40K, let me tell you something about his fandom with 40K. He has armies that I'm so jealous of that he hand paints. And when he plays The Witcher, he knows his Witcher lore. He isn't just going on to shows to flex and sword. He's going on to projects that he personally loves and wants to be a part of.
Yeah. That's true. That is true. So the original.
Why isn't he in Star Wars if he's great with a sword? Seriously.
Oh, don't.
I don't think that would be a good fit for him, though.
Yes, he could have helped us out, but we know.
Yeah.
So the original 1986 film starring Christopher Lambert and directed by Russell
Mulcahy.
I can't tell right. Featured
what? Honestly,
Queen, including
Henry Cavill is Cal Kestis.
Right. Okay. Featured a number of songs from Queen, including A Kind of Magic, 1 Year of Love, Hammer to Fall, Give Me the Prize, Princess of the Universe, great song, A Dozen Red Roses for My Darling, and New York, New York. In fact,
they're all
Queen
great
proper,
songs.
yeah, they are. All
And
of them.
Crazy Little Thing Called Love is on that album, didn't make the movie.
They should have added Bicycle. In fact, Queen rocker Brian May who also wrote, wants to wrote Who Wants to Live Forever after viewing the romantic scenes between the film's main character, Connor McLeod, and his wife, Heather, right? Great scene. Works very well.
See how
right?
Roxanne Hart did not inspire him, the second love interest.
I know, right?
Yeah, she's terrible.
Yeah.
She is. She just sort of stands there and says things. The movie's well acted. It's just like it's got one clunker of an actress in it. Most of it's great.
Yeah.
And by the way, just for context, really quickly, Highlander lore. The quickening, Pop's right. We don't get a lot on it. We get just enough. Here's what we know. They can sense other life force if they attune themselves to it for a moment. A little bit of Zen, right? For a second. And like Connery unpacks that part with his hand on his shoulder. It's like, she the stag. Feel his heart. It's the quickening Highlander. So they can induce it. And the other time they feel it is if there's another Highlander nearby. And PCR, you've been through this. When other Highlanders come by, right? How you get a little queasy. You feel like almost morning sick, right? Yeah.
Highlander radar goes off like, oh, there's a potential enemy.
Yeah, if I have to kill my friend PCR to get the prize, I will. But I'm glad it's gotten down to just a few of us, and we've gotten rid of most of the Kurgans and other jerks. Isn't it great? So, may the best man, if you beat me, so be it. But, I'm working on my swordsmanship, buddy.
There you go. So after the product spending years in development, it appears that it's finally moving forward sometime next year. Deadline reported that at the end of October that the film will have a $100 million production budget. Okay, so keep this in mind for future reference. $100 million production budget, and Lionsgate is aiming to have the film go into production sometime in 2024. Okay, so remember this, $100 million budget. All right, so let's see what happens. All right, so back in 2017, Selsky informed Collider that he and his team were tinkering on how to structure the film and were looking at the property in the vein of a high-end trilogy. Okay, I can kind of get behind that, right? Because, hey, it worked out with John Wick, of course, being 4 films and all that kind of stuff. But a trilogy, I can get behind a trilogy, right? So, have something in the past, have something, maybe present time or something like that. Possibly maybe something for the future. I don't know how they're going to structure it or whatnot. But you know what? Or maybe just Connor McLeod throughout time, and then the last one being maybe present day or something like that. I don't know. We'll have to see.
How about something really cool and iconic like Wheel of Time? That would be good. I hope no one ruined that title yet.
No.
Don't forget though, if it does make a lot of money, they might go more than 3 though. If it does make a lot of money, that's what a lot of studios do nowadays.
Exactly.
By the way, we had another celebrity earlier. Ranker Steve came through the show. His links in the chat for Manorama. You can catch Mike there.
Yeah,
and me too. Sometimes when we build Legos on Saturdays,
because John Wick is going to number 5 now, believe it or not. So,
but
really,
by the way, Mike, what do you think of this idea? I came up with a no-fail Lego build for Steve, considering the last one. What do you think of this one? You ready? If I get him a space shuttle, right? If I get him the Columbia or the Challenger, if at the end he has completely botched the whole thing, he can break it into pieces and be like, "Hey, look, it's exactly like it ended up." And no one could say he didn't do an accurate build. So I think.
All right, Admiral T, when you do that, I'll go ahead and I'll send him a Big Bird so that way he can have Big Bird on the shuttle.
I'm looking right now on Amazon for a Lego space shuttle.
Yeah. Oh, there is one out there. So we said
the Atlantis though.
So we said I think the TV series hit on a lot of great stuff that wasn't in the feature between the Watchers and all the different types of immortals. How do we get
it's $200.
How do we get into a feature mode before we dribble it into the TV world? Well, let's restructure it in parts, he says. Let's look at it. Let's look at it like it was a TV show. Let's look at it like it was a high-end trilogy. How do we tell the story of the Gathering, the Quickenings, the Immortals, and how do we really build this world out, even more so than the original project. So, okay, fine. So we're thinking about all of that into maybe, hopefully, a high-end trilogy. Now, that's a lot of story to fill in, especially into a trilogy, right? So that's what we're restructuring right now, we said. It's taking all the good stuff that we had before I was involved in the project from the script, redeveloping the script to give us really a really good chapter 1, 2, and 3, and expanding the world. Okay, so we can kind of take away from this so far that here's a guy, okay, that knows the TV show, and from the sounds of it, okay, he knows a bit about the lore, about the quickening, the gathering, the immortals, and want to at least develop it into a trilogy. And you know what? Hey, if it goes into a fourth movie, just so you can expand a bit more, so you can really complete the story, okay, I'm kind of okay with that.
I can really appreciate the level of thought going into the story building, the world building behind all that. I can really appreciate that, because it seems like they really care about the franchise. They really care about the lore of the show, and they want to build upon it. So this does fill me with a little bit of hope there.
It does, because at least it's sounding like, and I'm only going to say it's sounding like, like the director with One Piece, reading all the manga, looking at all the anime, really getting into it, and then producing a product that is faithful, that at least the creator of the entire universe said, okay, great, you got a thumbs up with this.
And you have an actor that's loyal. He likes to do source material. The actor, he's always stay loyal to whatever he tries to do.
And the actor also respects fans. He says that famous quote of "fans aren't toxic; they're passionate."
Yeah, and he's a fan himself. That's why it's
and that's why it works. It's as simple as that. Stelsky further explained why he was looking at making the property into a trilogy. Okay, so the answer might be pretty interesting. The vision we're trying to get across and what we're trying to develop, I equate very close to Star Wars. The first one is a very satisfying ending, but it does leave the door open, and that's kind of how I see this. I would really like to expand it over 3. I see the gathering happening over 3. Okay, it's tricky, don't get me wrong, but that's why we're still developing it. Okay, so he wants to take his time. He noted, we want to be able to tell 3 complete stories that all kind of fit. I think the Star Wars trilogy, at least up to Empire Strikes Back, is a good example of how we want to process it. Finally, somebody that's actually getting something here.
Wants to develop something.
Yes.
Exactly. Because like he's saying, Star Wars, the first movie, hey, that's great. It's super. It's a terrific film, but it also, can leave it open to, to stuff leading on in the original trilogy, like Empire.
Well, went into Empire, which some might say was the best of them all. So it's like,
yes, exactly.
Yep.
Because you know what? You can watch A New Hope, the original Star Wars movie, by itself, right?
Yeah.
And it's nice and closed in a way, it leaves a little bit of mystery because, at the end, obviously, Darth Vader.
I would even say don't watch them.
Advanced, and you're always kind of wondering, I wonder what happened to Darth Vader, right?
I would even say don't watch them in numeric order. Watch them in release order, because that really is the way they're intended to be viewed. If you watch 1 through 6, you lose a lot.
Yeah. But it also, it also can lead into Empire. It's like, okay, great. This is what happens next. So if he is looking at it through that kind of lens, so far he's winning me over. And Hail to Gap After Dark, that makes it. So I can hear you now. You start the show over. No, I don't want to. Well, I mean, I could, but I don't want to. So you'll have to watch
bumper.
So.
Fortress of Awesomeness.
Exactly. You've entered the foursome of awesomeness. So Stelsky would more recently inform John Horowitz that the project had come a long way. But he was staying true to the vision he outlined to Collider back in 2017. I'll bet he also teased it could be spun off into a TV series as well. Well, okay, I'm kind of okay with that because, you know, the original films did do that, you know, with his cousin. So I'm all right with that as well if that does happen. So the director also stated, we're looking to do our own story, engages a lot of the same characters and stuff like that, but we've also brought in elements of all the TV shows, and we're going to try to do a bit of a prequel, a setup for The Gathering. So we have room to grow the property. If we got all our Snuggle Frickle Puss together, I don't know why I said that name. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Can I just, real quick, Mike, this is not the kind of thing that's... This is not scaring me at all. These are all very reasonable. The 3-movie trilogy towards The Gathering, I mean, all right, it was only one movie, but it was a very substantive movie, so I'm for it. I'd rather that than like a remake. But if you do anything other than that, like sequel to the first or something, seems impossible. Like in this one case, I'll say you do have to canon wipe. It seems, I mean, there are better writers than me out there who might not have to, but they found a way with Duncan MacLeod. I don't know if you can pull a rabbit out of the hat with that one twice, but these are good ideas.
Yeah. So he says, if we got our crap together and we pulled off the feature, like, yeah, we have ideas for the days about how to make the coolest characters and to make that an epic TV show. I just think that's a rich material. When you can pick any period in time, any nationality, any culture, any type of person, and make them an immortal that have to duel and deal with the burden of immortality, that's effing cool to me, he concluded. Right?
And there you can actually include anybody. There's your inclusion. You can have a black woman, you can have a Hispanic man, you can do anything. And there,
Thank you.
Everybody has.
You know who else duels and deals with immortality?
Any culture, any kind of person.
Yep.
Great.
See, you know who duels and deals with immortality, guys?
Because
Palpatine.
No.
But there you go. You do not have to pander, right?
No.
Because you've got a big giant world, and there could be anyone in there. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's in Scotland or or Germany, or it doesn't matter if it's in Japan. It doesn't matter if it's in South America, right?
Oh, cool.
Doesn't matter. It could be a woman. It could be a man. You don't know, right? It could be anybody in the population, and they could be an immortal that at any moment in time might want to lob your head off, right? And that's great. And you don't have to, and you wouldn't question it. Because again, it could be anybody from any culture, any gender. It doesn't matter, right? That's why it works.
A big double-handed sword versus like a katana.
Right, but remember, like they're going to be, you might not be able to suss them up until things like what happened to the Kurgan happens. But yeah, again, once again, we have our immortal versus immortal spidey sense that we can feel them coming.
Yep. Exactly. Because you got to watch out for those watchwords, right? You have to watch out for those.
And for some reason, too, you have to be the one who does in the other Highlander, or the charge gets wasted. You can't jump charge yourself if someone else gets them. Because based on what the Kurgan says, he's like, the one called MacLeod, he's mine.
Yep.
And the fact of who's working on it too, like I said, if you've ever watched John Wick, which probably most people have, that revolutionized the way action films are being done nowadays. They actually have changed the way films are done due to the way John Wick was filmed, the action scenes, the space, the way it was done. John Wick changed the industry. It really did.
Yep,
so,
you did.
Yeah.
Even going back to movies like The Raid and then Dread. It was also a different, different take on the action movie genre, because those were action scenes that we had never seen before.
Oh, The Raid is so good. Yeah,
it is, and it's reviving. We're seeing a little bit of this revival of action movies again that kick ass.
Battle Royale is another good one. It's like yeah,
that's right. So as we begin to land this plane, because it's been a very, very good episode.
Goodness.
2
hours already?
I know, right? Time flies when you're, complaining about, everything that's going on in the industry. So, it's great.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody that's been in the chat. Thank you very much. Okay, to everybody, and I hope you hit the notification bell and hit the like button, and that you're subscribed to this channel, and that you spread it around because, again, and I know this sounds very cliche from a lot of people, but it really does, honest to God, help this channel grow. Whether you're on Rumble or whether you're on YouTube here, it really does, honest to God, help us out, right? To get this word out, to get this smaller news out that everybody else ignores, like I said before, right? So I want to thank people like that were in the chat, Sci-Fi Mombi that was here, and Carla Burton, and of course Sark of Iron, who is of course here on this panel as well. James Caserta was also here, and we also had Wendy Trauma Warrior, that hopefully more than likely is lurking and listening in, or if she's not, then hopefully she's got some headsets on while she's deep hands into somebody's guts and trying to revive them.
Oh yeah, total is brutal's guts movement, yeah.
Exactly. And yes, and again, Wendy, congratulations on your grandchild that was born, and that the complications were not serious at all, and that everybody ended up safe and sound. So I do try to remember these things. And Dormammu, thank you. That is also, the other person that occasionally gets on to, and now you made it awkward podcast. Go check them out if you can. Let's see, and who else was here? We had John Rendell, the Fez brother himself, John Rendell, and of course Al Nickerson. A great fan and a great friend to this channel. So thank you, Mr. Al Nickerson. And again, I'm trying to find the link, but please check him out. Please check out his book, Sword of Eden. He's got the second one coming out. You can order it on Amazon. If I can find the QR code to that, then I will try to find that and include that in. If not, I will include it into the description of the show. Yeah, because he is a great guy to talk with, and he's got a great read. So go check out his book. Ray Lucard, thank you for also joining into the chat. Dad Man Walking, everybody's favorite dad man. Snortacute.
Long time talking football the other night.
Snortapoopas Cuber, thank you also, everybody's favorite polar bear, for joining into the chat. I greatly appreciate you coming in. Saber, the Doom Squirrel, that joined in as well.
Saber.
Thank you, dude, for joining in. Who else joined in? As I'm scrolling down the entire list of people that joined in, because it's great to have a lively chat. I'm really grateful that a lot of people were just chiming in and whatnot. Pacific 414, thank you, dude. I'm sorry I missed you in the chat, but thank you also for joining in, man. I really appreciate it. And we also had Chrissy all the way from Norway. I'm trying to remember. So
it's like when the peoples from Norway hangs out with us. Shut up, still.
Exactly.
Okay?
That's right. Excuse me, guys. I'm going to So yeah, South Park is awesome. So
I know Flip magazine, they actually were in it too. So
oh yeah. So
yeah, they
thank you, Christine,
and make his name and gay.
that's right. For joining in. Rocco the Brave, dude, thank you very much. Also as well. Flip City Magazine. That's right, everybody in the chat, whether you're on Rumble or YouTube, I do have a link where you can buy a subscription, and also, like I mentioned before, a special coupon code so you can get 10% off of a subscription that comes out quarterly. So go check them out. Like Tom said before, he got his free comic just by going to the website and
email. Yeah, you get two actually. There's one on the website, and if you get an email, you get the other one. So it's technically two, and then their stuff, it looks amazing. So yeah, definitely worth checking out.
Very cool.
There you go. Very cool. So yeah, check out the coupon. Use the coupon. You get 10% off of a subscription from Flip City Magazine. So, and of course, Gap After Dark, who yesterday I made him hold his, going to the bathroom.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say you made him hold himself. He had to go to the washroom.
I did, right? And And of course, Kitty, from Flip City Magazine, by the end of the show, she really had to go. So, I made her too. I am
did you
opportunity fascist.
Are we done with our shout outs? Have we mentioned Ranker Steve, Gap After Dark, or Penny yet?
Yeah, and Penny,
thank you
I
all
haven't
so
seen
much.
you in a long
Yes.
time, Penny. Thank you for showing up.
Yeah, very cool.
She seems to be a morning person by our time, Mike. I see her on like Stone Lookie and Culture Casino. Sweet person.
Yeah, she is. She's an awesome person. Thank
And
you.
also a lot on Pop Culture Minefield where, hey, I'm going to be there Sunday.
There you
Oh,
go.
cool.
And Rancor Steve. So, yes, also shout out to Rancor Steve. So, check out Manorama on Tuesday nights. So, also on Rumble, check out that channel because it's full of manly stuff.
And
It's
RN
the best
Feliciano just showed
best
up.
men's health show.
That's right.
In the streaming services right now. You don't go if you want advice. Don't buy Men's Health magazine. Go to Manorama.
Gap After Dark. I'm considering unsubscribing because you don't put a pee break in the middle of the show.
Oh, really?
I had a commercial. Come on, man.
Juice boxes or juice bottles, in those long drives, and then
you know what they say about breaking the seal.
Exactly.
Cheers.
So once you start, you can't stop. So, and the hail to King Dolphin. Greetings.
I thought breaking the seal was illegal in Canada. You can't go out there with the clubs and have baby heart seal coats anymore. They've taken away all the finer things.
How you doing, buddy? I'm off today.
Raymond.
Isn't that weird?
There you go. Well, considering I'm breaking the seal, I'm just going to more than likely have to because in a month that Bill C-11 up here, that censorship bill, goes into effect. So we're gonna have fun with that. Oh yes.
And happy early Veterans Day as well, Raymond. Thank you, sir.
Yes, happy Veterans Day to you, dear sir. I appreciate you for all you do. So,
here's for our veterans. Memorial Day is for the fallen. Veterans Day is for those who are still with us, having served our nation. Our hats off to all of them.
Yes, exactly. 100%.
So you know what? For Dormammu, seeing how he's not technically on the panel, but I will give a shout out to the podcast. And now you made it awkward podcast because, like I said before, Dormammu occasionally, and so am I occasionally on that podcast. So if you want to check it out, it is on occasion pretty fun. So that being said, Pop Culture Republic, my friend.
Yes.
Do you have anything to plug, Mike?
Oh, not at the moment. Just more stuff coming down the pipe. I'm slowly working to maybe getting some kind of fixed schedule to my live streams. They're hit and miss there. So yeah, they're scattered, my live streams. But yeah, I'm working on something more structured in the future.
Nice. Talk more comics and K-pop stuff.
Yeah, more comics, more TV shows. Going back to the wonderful world of K-dramas because I'm finding more and more ones that I'm enjoying.
Gap, I'm sorry that there's no Friday cartoon because, first of all, running a little bit late, and I ended up with some sort of weird error that I couldn't show today, but I'm trying to fix it. And you know what? Maybe to make up for it, I'll show it on a Tuesday. How about that? So, sorry, dude. Yeah. So, something weird going on with the encoding codex. So that
that's
Gremlins.
Yeah,
Gremlins.
Yeah,
always Gremlins.
That's right. Tom, I know that you're, putting aside the Foggy Brains channel, but I'm going to put it out there anyway until you are doing.
Yeah, a bunch of subscribers. Go to Foggy Brains, check it out. You like 420 stuff, blah, 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 blah. I'm still waiting to develop the new channel. I actually I was called on set to film with a cell phone because that's all they needed. It's guerrilla shooting. I did a few shorts. I was the filmmaker, I was the producer and assistant director, and now I have to edit these shorts. Oh, don't become editors. Oh, editing YouTube is different than editing movies and shorts. It's a totally different world, and I hate it. But it was fun making the movie. It was fun being on set with actors and stuff. Finally, I mean, I've done it before, but being in charge and being an assistant director is like, oh, this is cool. So
that is awesome, dude.
So that was fun. That was
very cool.
Days. So
loving it.
Oh yes.
And you haven't gotten bald yet from all the editing so far. So that's a good sign.
I know.
There you go. Admiral Teague, our layman lamented Captain Retard. How are you?
It's true.
Such an amazing.
I had
All
to. I had to. Come on.
Fine.
From yesterday.
Michael, you young shaver, you. I'll be doing, I don't know, a watch along next week. We'll figure out which one to do. I'll be on in a little while. My link's in the chat for my show. If you can, I'll be on in about an hour, a little less now. But we'll be probably live watch Wokey, figure out what's wrong, have a wake for the MCU. Hopefully a few people will be by. Tony's gonna be there. It'll be a good time. We'll watch me being a mean boss, and I think it's unchanged. I think my appearance is still unchanged, but the movie has changed. It looks like I'm doing RoboCop tomorrow with Tom Connors and Gary with Tom and
Very
Gary
nice.
over on Pop Culture Minefield. So I'm going to put that in the chat. Last I talked, I was still on this one. So looks like I have a little more research to do. I will say I didn't mind the turtle research. I'm going to have to hit Tom Connors with some turtle questions if I can.
Admiral Teague, if you need any lore, and stuff about RoboCop, I love RoboCop.
I saw.
OCP,
I know just about enough about OCP
just-
and all the other stuff. I have to rewatch the movie for sure, but yeah, put my head together with my experts and my guys. I'm sure that I can get some help from people from my panel and be up to speed. But I got to talk to Gary and make sure that's for sure. So if I'm not on, hey, watch it anyway and tell them, hey, where's Admiral Teague? Because I think I will be there.
They did release a new game, actually, RoboCop. It was Weller.
Rogue City is awesome. Rogue City is awesome.
And also, you know, best wishes to Gary, who did hurt his foot. So, you know, I was hoping to be on last time, but when people get hurt, you know, what can you say except I hope you feel better, buddy?
Yeah.
And they've had me on, and Keith and he have been very generous to me. So Pop Culture Minefields links in the chat. I'm on in a little while, and that's what's next for me. Thanks. Sorry for the long plug.
And our billionaire boy, Tony Stark, Mr. Industrial himself.
He's going to replug my show.
What do you got on the docket?
I am also Admiral Teague's most iconic shadow investor. Oh, wait, there's supposed to be the shadow part in it. Anyway, yes, I do have some stuff coming out on the line. If you like the party that happens every Friday night, aka tonight, at the Castle of the Hollow Earth, with a very big name and a very talented performer and the future ruler of this planet, then you might like the after party that I throw whenever the lights go out at said castle, which I will be having as soon as he is done with his show. That has very similar vibes. I sing songs, I do skits, I do voices. I even have a new parody song called The Griller, sung to the tune of The Gambler as Hank Rutherford Hill, that will be coming out this evening after FNF. As I do have one more big announcement, actually two, on January 24th, Wednesday, since Raymond Feliciano is here, we will be doing a take 2 of Making Waves on Raymond's show.
Yeah.
Where he will be interviewing me again, because the first one that we had, we were just, you know, shooting the shit off the cuff and just having a good time. I thought it was a good show, but he wants to do more of an official interview, so I'll be doing that.
Nice.
And on November 26th of this next couple of Sundays from now will be the premiere episode of The Tower After Hours, a Johnny Carson-esque late show program with its own commercial breaks. That's the reason why, Mike, you got to get your commercial to me. We can even use your front bumper or whatever if you want, so I can put it in my commercial break blocks. Admiral Teague, you and I need to talk. Ranker Steve has already got something in the works for me for that, and I need to actually reach out and a few more ads. I want to do one for the Bunny Trail Rescue, one for Doomcock, so I got some names I got to talk to. Other than that, yeah, it's the first interviewee in the hot seat's gonna be Ranker Steve.
Nice.
If he's still down for it. We were talking about it on the Lego build, but I want to get a confirm on that. So that I won't say is 110%.
We may see him later on my show.
Yes, we may see Ranker Steve later here in about 40 minutes from now. This has been a fun adventure. I always jump at the chance to hang out with Mike. I'm so happy and blessed that I was actually able to get a Friday off of work to do so. And I'm dedicating it to the YouTube Bar Crawl, my next pub will actually be on the bridge of the Wilbur here in about 40 minutes at Saving Star Trek, at
Awesome.
least until they open up the doors at the castle at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Pub crawl.
So yeah, other than that, yes, please subscribe to my channel. I am on the road to 500. Thanks to DC, I am now over 300. Please share me out there. I do a lot of work for you guys. I got so much coming down the line. You guys,
Very cool.
It's going to be great. Please give me a
You'll
chance.
never have as many subs as me, Tony.
Please allow me to e-beg for your subscriptions like some people e-beg for Sir Green Lantern comic.
By the way, just throw this one out there. I banned the word verisimilitude from my channel.
Oh, did you? Okay. And yet you use.
So don't say verisimilitude even in hindsight.
You can say it, but you can't type it into chat.
Oh, okay.
Okay, sure.
So it's like Candyman. Say 3 times.
No, it's like Orwell. I'm a little bit of a dictator about what goes
if
on.
I say Biggie Smalls 3
okay,
times in the mirror late at night after having, too much to drink, he's not going to come out and ice me?
Probably not. Well, we can hope for the best. I don't know. So thank you, everybody. In the chat, I put the link out again. If you want to get a subscription to Flip City Magazine, the code there for the 10% off subscription is CRC for Comic Relief Crusader. To everybody that is on Rumble or on the YouTubes, thank you for joining in. I really, really appreciate it. Please hit the like button. Hit that notification bell, hit subscribe, and spread this around like crazy because we try to get to the news that nobody else very much gets to. So to everyone out in the chat,
and your geek commentary on the things that are happening right now.
That's right.
Hit the like and follow buttons. Mike is a great and important warrior for the anti-woke movement.
So to everybody out there in the chat, thank you very much for coming. I really, really do appreciate it. And so from everybody here on this panel, thank you very much. And we will see you on Titillating Tuesdays. See ya.
Later, all.